Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome back to Stamford Bridge, where we're just going to have a nice, relaxing day today, watching a video requested by chat. Besides, nothing else. There's been a quiet week as 2026 has calmed down. I mean, yes, Trump did say that voting was a privilege and not a right the other day, so...
I mean, if voting was a right, you're 18.
That's true.
It's a genuine question. Like,
Might
are
be
your
for
other
the
rights
winter times.
suspended? Yeah, like, genuine question.
And I see we got a couple of people coming in here at the beginning too. Finsan, question: at what point is it okay for us to just bring back colonialism? Listen, it was never not okay.
Well, I mean, at some point, it's probably going to be economically necessary, right? Because it'll just get to the point where it's like, look, we can't afford the welfare. We're just going to have to go over there and fix their countries for them, whether they like it or not.
Listen, it'll be expensive in the short term, but man, we'll save a lot of money long term.
Damn right.
Auntie here, I'll watch this tomorrow, but want to wish you magnificent guys a wonderful stream. Thank you. Greetings from Germany. Thanks for keeping me kind of sane. And Nithrus, hi Arch, what happened to the War of Star Wars 10v10 stream? Haven't had the time to get around to it yet. I am still hoping to do so, though, because that was a very fun mod. Sandu, Martin's picked a quality video. It's a good one. Well, again, this was actually sponsored by Jonathan Smith from chat, so I'm hoping it'll be fun. And man, okay, so... you can't see it here because I've cropped it slightly on the little thingy bob, but Fat Electrician, 2.1 million subscribers. Jesus, we have a big guy on our hands today.
Sorry, who the fuck's that?
I don't know either, but he's apparently huge.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Great. I mean, congratulations, buddy.
He's larger than you, Sargon. Maybe even physically, but he's American, so he's probably like 5'2". Tops.
No, Americans are tall, man. What are you talking about?
No, they're not.
Actually, I mean, on average, Americans are 5'9", like everywhere else. But like all the Americans I've met tend to be just very well fed.
Really? Oh, yeah, they're rotund,
Yeah,
but
tall.
my mental image of Americans
No,
are
but
that
also
they're tiny.
Tall. No. The ones I've met have been tall.
Huh. Mental image shattered. Oh, well. Let's dive on in, then.
A lot of you probably already know the name Desmond Doss, and even more...
Oh, Desmond Dawes mentioned. Okay, right. So, 2 seconds in, we need to have an interruption. So, Desmond Dawes. This is actually a very fascinating little side topic here. God, I hope this is not a video about Desmond Dawes, because if it is, I'm going to spoil some of the plot. But Desmond Dawes was a fascinating character. He joined the US military in 42, I think, despite being protected from the draft because he was working at a shipyard. But he joined from patriotic fever. Okay, cool. Secondly, and here's the kicker, he was a conscientious objector.
What?
Yes.
I object to the war, but I love my country so much, I'm just going to have to join it anyway.
Yes, he was a non-violent vegan by religion. Which one then wonders why he decided to sign up in the first place.
Well, I don't agree with all of this, but I've got to do it anyway.
Yeah, no, literally, that was kind of his reasoning. Like, yeah, I want to fight for my country. I just, I can't kill people because I believe it's wrong. Okay, very well. So he joined up, and here's the crazy part. So he got bullied like mad because people wanted to get him out of the unit. They viewed him as useless, complete waste of time and space because he was a soldier who wouldn't fight. Like, stay home. If these are your religious objections, we're not gonna bash you for that. But Jesus Christ, you're not gonna be of
We
any
don't
help.
need you here.
Yes.
What good is a soldier who won't fight?
Exactly. Fuck off, right? And then he went on to win 2 Bronze Stars for Valor, 3 Purple Hearts from being wounded, and the Medal of Honor for having saved 70 guys during the Battle of Okinawa, I think.
I mean, chat.
Absolutely. Absolutely crazy. And he was recently, and since I'm 52 years old, recently means any time in the last 10 years, given a movie about this called Hacksaw Ridge, and the movie was directed by Mel Gibson.
Again, based what?
Yeah, because some of you younger people in chat might not remember, but Mel Gibson was a huge superstar for a while. He was
deservedly so.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
He was great.
He was also a Christian. Oh.
Well, he was also prepared to say things that other people wouldn't say until 4chan and Twitter. Elon took over Twitter.
He levied certain allegations at Hollywood. Certain allegations that have since been largely substantiated.
His only crime was being ahead of the curve.
Literally, yes.
I'm not even joking. It's genuinely like. Anyway, yeah.
Yes. So, and he's getting a little bit of a redemption arc now because he can literally just sit there and go like, see. But yeah, that was really, really awesome, and a very interesting story about Dobbs, and very interesting modern story with Mel Gibson. God, I still remember when they cancelled him. Like, he basically became known as like a Christian crazy and stuff, and he was probably one of the first people who got like properly cancelled cultured out of the mainstream.
Oh, completely. And like it didn't help that he grew his beard out and made himself look crazy.
God, he got a South Park episode made about him.
Yeah. He was put properly through the ringer. Properly through it.
Oh, yes. But anyways, okay, 2 seconds in, slight deviation. Everything is as per usual. Again, I hope this isn't a movie about him.
Or if you would remember it, if I reminded you that he was the conscientious objector in World War II that refused...
Ah, right, we're just going to repeat my story now. Fuck.
Okay, well.
At some point, I will learn to allow the YouTuber to speak before I continue on. But
we probably should have expected some kind of context from him.
Yes, I would imagine so.
How long is this video?
Oh, like 40 minutes. We'll be lucky to get through it.
Well, do you want to skip his context then?
Maybe. I don't know where the content's been. But he's using footage from the video here, I see. This is from Hacksaw Ridge, the movie. Yeah.
Just like skip like 5 minutes in.
I have lost shit.
Yes. And I bring all this up because it raises one simple question. If
How did I know?
America did just that, and the results speak for themselves, and we're going to get into it right after a word from our
right, sponsor. There we go.
War II, I get this exact keyboard warrior in the comments section. Buh! America didn't win World War II. They showed up late and tried to take credit for it. Buh!
Correct! Fuck you, American!
I mean, the problem with America's narrative on World War II is it makes it sound like it was just America fighting World War II, which makes all the more embarrassing that the only photos of the fall of Berlin all have Soviet flags in them.
All right, so to calm all of the Americans in chat down, America certainly did contribute, and greatly so, by arming the Soviet Union, for example, and making it one of the world's leading military superpowers. Good job on that one.
Yeah, well done.
And they did also help in Europe, occasionally, when they weren't too scared from the singular German sniper that they spent 6 hours bombing the nearby countryside to get rid of. But you were there. I mean, you contributed.
Yeah, I mean, you were involved, so, well done.
Okay, look, on one hand, I want to give this a serious answer. There's no American that's saying America won World War II all by...
Okay.
By themselves. Nobody is saying that. It was a huge team effort by the big three, America, the UK, and the USSR, as well as a bunch of other countries that were occupied or close to being occupied. They all made humongous...
I will maintain that Norway still made the greatest contribution to the Allied victory. Not only did we keep like 150,000 Germans occupied in the fucking mountains where they chilled for the entirety of the war, but it was a Norwegian meteorologist that predicted that the skies would be clear on D-Day. Without us, the invasion would never have happened.
Oh, that's right. Without you, it's the 1,000-Year Reich, which is why you guys are surrendered almost immediately.
Hey, put up more of a fight than the Danes.
Oh, wow! I mean, that is true, but wow.
Strongest sacrifices to win World War II, it was a massive team effort. So when an American says America won World War II, they're simply saying the Allied forces won, America is part of the Allied forces, therefore America won. It is a factually correct statement, just like it would also be a factually correct statement to say that the USSR and the UK also won World War II.
I do believe we are steel manning the fuck out of this position, but okay, yeah, that's semantically correct. Yep, yeah.
I mean, yeah, technically.
On the other
Not
hand,
the
if we're
implication, though.
Yeah, what about the implication?
Yeah.
talking shit, I can do that too, because guess what? When it comes to World Wars, America's the MVP. I hate to break it to you, but let's just face facts here.
Well, technically, for World Wars, he's sort of kind of correct. Again, if you steel man the fuck out of his
America
position.
was the MVP. I don't think you can call America the MVP of World War One.
No. Well, the argument would be that the German mass counteroffensive after the surrender of Russia would have brought the Allies to the brink, which... I
think many other people were holding the line a lot more importantly than America was in World War One.
Are you ready to wrap
Yes.
this yellow mare's fluttering
Although,
butter
America
with
is very good at fighting large set-piece wars, so long as they are surrounded by their allies. It is true.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're not, you know.
Breaks out tomorrow, and we're picking teams by lining all the countries up on the wall like it's dodgeball in gym class. Guess who's getting picked first? America. If you disagree with that, it's because you're being disingenuous or you're fucking dumb. And the whole...
That is true,
Okay.
yes.
That is true. But not because everyone's like, oh, the Americans are the first in and the last out, right?
No, they're the last
Because
in and the first out.
Yeah, America has a giant continent full of resources that it's a castle position that America occupies. It's a very difficult position to assault. They're very lucky they have weak neighbors, and they're very lucky to have inherited the Anglo system of governance.
All very fortunate. And they're also the guys who
Yes.
tend to show up to wars 2 to 3 years late and then go like, look, we've done very well for ourselves. I'm sure you have.
Yeah. But he's not wrong though.
Yes,
America gets
question.
picked first. That is true.
Fire
Yes.
is the answer.
By the way, chat, if any of you thought that he wouldn't take the majority of this time shitting on the US, you shouldn't have gotten... I shouldn't have gotten...
We love you
both
guys.
answers.
We absolutely love you guys.
And that's why we shit on
Got to
you.
keep it in perspective.
Fire is the answer.
You just got to keep it in perspective.
whole America showed up late to World War II thing. Look, number one seed in the tournament.
You showed up late to the World War I thing, too.
yeah, it's not that just that war, Jesus.
Guaranteed citizenship.
That seems to be a defining factor.
Gets a bye. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Furthermore, it's not like World War II was on the verge of ending and America popped in at the last second so they could be on the winning team, okay? World War II ended because America came off the fucking top rope with aircraft carriers, Sherman tanks, and atomic bombs. Sorry, I'm getting horribly sidetracked. I apologize.
Hang on. Was America's intervention in the war actually critical to the Soviets winning on the Eastern Front?
So this is a complex question. The short answer would probably be no. The more complex answer would be maybe.
Yeah. But to be honest with you, it still looked like the Germans were on the trajectory of defeat.
Yes, see, the thing is, the primary American contribution was the Studebaker truck. Because the Soviets didn't really give a shit about our tanks. They considered them shit and garbage, and they were shit and garbage. But 200,000 trucks was huge for the Soviet Union, whose supply lines were absolutely collapsing at the time.
Yeah.
But Germany invaded too late in the year regardless. Near certainly they would still have been stopped outside of Moscow, and even if they had seized Moscow, which would be highly unlikely at the time, given the proximity to winter, etc., the only real advantage would be the seizure of the Moscow rail network, and the Siberian reinforcements were already flooding in there, so it wouldn't really have even prevented strategic relocations. The Southern Front remained weak for another year. So, no, probably. The nuclear bomb is an interesting argument, though, because that's what the Americans always bring up. Oh, we could just nuke them. Well, remember, these weren't ICBMs. You can't just fire these shits from America. You need to fly them in using a B-29 Superfortress. And that's all good and well against the Japanese, who have no air defense. Try doing that against the Wehrmacht with a still operating Luftwaffe. So, again, in the spirit of all good and fun, yeah, America did pretty much come in when the walls clinched anyway, so... But what I will say is, the US did save Europe, because without the invasion of France and Normandy, then, yeah, the Soviet Union would probably have been able to claim all of it, and that would have really, really sucked for us all. So, thanks.
Apologize. The point I'm trying to get to is that there's a lot of people on the internet that like to say America showed up late to World War II, but the fact of the matter is it's not like America had a choice. That was literally the only option, because in 1939... when
we are getting sidetracked.
World War II...
America could have stood with her allies and declared war when we declared war.
Were we allied in 1939? I don't even remember now.
Were we not? We must have been.
Kicked off, America didn't really have a military to go fight with. Okay, let me break this down for you. 16 million...
That is true. America didn't have a military in World War I, so they just kind of hurriedly built one. And primarily got equipped with, like, French random garbage. Then in World War II, they still didn't have a military, and so they had to also be equipped with random garbage. But they had more of a standing army, and of course, remember as well, President Roosevelt was a vehement warmonger and had seen quite the build-up of the U.S. Navy in particular. In fact, one could easily argue that America had already been at a de facto state of war with Germany since 1939, seeing as it was convoying British transport ships halfway across the fucking Atlantic.
This kind of feels like we're following on from our conversation about how the Americans didn't realize that the Europeans thought they were shit during their own Civil War.
Americans served in the military in World War II, and at its peak, the U.S. military had 12 million people actively serving in it. In 1939, when World War II started, America's military had 200,000 people in the Army and 100,000 people in the Navy. To put that into perspective, America had the 19th largest military on the planet, and 18th was Portugal, which is approximately the size of Indiana, which is one of America's 50 states. And
which also goes some extent to explaining the privileged fucking position of the US. You fuckers could afford to have a military smaller than Portugal because all of your neighbors were useless.
God, yeah, imagine your only land neighbors being Canada and Mexico. Fucking hell.
And if that wasn't bad enough, not only was the American military small, it also just wasn't very good at this point in time either. They were so underfunded that the American military only had 329 light tanks that were outdated and 1,800 aircraft that were also outdated. And if that wasn't bad enough, not only did they not have good equipment and there wasn't very many of them, they didn't really know how to fight either because America hadn't revisited its battle doctrine since World War I, meaning the only fight that America knew how to participate in was trench warfare, which was not what World War II was. So if America wants to have a meaningful impact in World War II, they're going to have to rebuild an entire military from the ground up, both physically and conceptually. So the American government and the American military got to work on this right away in 1939 because they knew America was going to have to participate in this war, whether the public wanted to or not.
Oh, now there is an interesting truth too, yes. So Roosevelt, massive warmongering piece of shit. He did everything in his power to try and get a war with Japan going. He tried everything in his power to get a war with Germany going. The man basically determined to be to enter the Second World War before it even fucking started. and it. I'm not going to get deviated again.
And hint, the American public.
Oh, that's chat. Well, Norway, who only neighbour is Sweden. Motherfuckers, the Swedish were one of the premier fucking military powers in the 1800s, and our other neighbour is fucking Russia. I'm sorry.
And remember, we in Europe, you've got to remember, we don't have oceans separating us from the other continents. We have small areas of sea that can be crossed in a day or two.
Yes. Like, literally, Germany is a 3-hour boat ride away.
Yeah.
Wanted absolutely nothing to do with World War II from 1939 through 1941. At this point in time, the American public very much viewed World War II as a European conflict that America had no business getting involved with, and they wanted nothing to do with it. Despite that, the United States government started to institute a draft in October of 1940
because even back then, the US government did not give a flying fuck about what the American people wanted.
forcing young men into the military to grow its military size, just in case. Fast forward about a year, December 7th, 1941, a day that will live in infamy, Japan attacks Pearl Harbor, committing the cardinal sin of fucking with America's boats, essentially flipping the American public sentiment of we don't want to be involved to cowabunga it is.
Oh, and Roosevelt's reaction to that too was fascinating. So, when the news arrived, everybody in the White House was panicking, running around like mad, like, oh my god, is the news confirmed? What has happened? Did they get the carriers? Did they get the battleships? How many dead? How many aircraft? Are they invading? Like, complete madness, right? Roosevelt, not a fucking word. Not panic, anything. He was completely relaxed because he'd been championing this shit for years. To him, it was Christmas.
Well, I mean, I'm glad he was having a good time.
Yep. And then he had the balls to do his radio speech afterwards, like, nobody has wanted peace more than me. Yes, I may have ordered the presidential yacht to the Philippines to try and ram Japanese shipping, but that is insignificant. Motherfucker.
Less than 24 hours on December 8th, 1941, the American government, Congress, has officially declared war on Japan. 3 days after that, December 11th, Hitler declares war on America, at which point all of America is pretty much like, I mean, you didn't touch the boats, but fuck it, you can get some too.
Yeah, again, America was essentially already at war with Germany, and the Germans knew it, so they might as well shrug and get it over with.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
In the days and weeks and months following the attack on Pearl Harbor, not only have hundreds of thousands of young men volunteered to join the United States military, but the draft would ramp up as well. The Army was growing so much so fast that they were activating and standing up new divisions left and right, one after another. And by March of 1942, these new divisions that were being stood up were almost entirely comprised of draftees. They had some officers and some NCOs that were assigned to stand up the entire division, but aside from that, all of the new guys that were coming in were all untrained new recruits that were drafted. And one of these first all-draftee divisions was the 77th Infantry Division. Now, I need you to understand how absolutely crazy this situation is.
May I also say I appreciate how fast this man speaks. It's actually refreshing. I myself am far too turgid in my speak, and far too many YouTubers are, so I appreciate the speed and volume at which he goes.
Standing up a new division is a humongous undertaking, okay? A military unit of that size, that's like 15,000 men. That is a living, breathing entity, okay? There's history, there's standard operating procedures, there's leadership, there's a way of doing things, and that way has probably been written in blood for years by the men that came before you, and you're just popping one up overnight. Okay, that's fucking crazy. Okay, let me explain this in a hypothetical so hopefully you can understand a little bit better, okay? Imagine that you showed up to work tomorrow. Let's say that you worked on an assembly line for Ford and you're building F-150s, and you showed up to work and they gave you and a couple of your buddies that you work with keys, and they're like, hey, drive across town. There's a big ass empty building. I need you to go ahead and start another manufacturing plant. There's no machines. Figure out the machines you need, figure out what order they need to go in, figure out the new fucking car that you're gonna build, and figure out all of this shit, how you're gonna pay everybody, taxes, everything. Figure all of it out. By the way, the new workforce is coming in next week. None of them are fucking trained. You have to go ahead and train them on all the shit that you haven't even figured out yourself yet. Good luck. And if that wasn't hard enough, the 77th Infantry Division was a guinea pig division. It was literally an experiment. You see, the high-ranking military and the government were concerned, and they didn't know what it was going to take to win World War II, and they didn't know if they had enough young men, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. What if all of those young men got taken out, and we needed to rely on the older generation of men to go fight this war? They needed to know what these older men...
The Americans come into this rather pessimistic, don't they? What if the entire...
Well, yeah.
I mean, considering World War One, I guess, yeah. It's like, oh, what do we do if just everyone dies? I don't know.
Men in their 30s and 40s and 50s would be capable of physically doing on the battlefield, and they needed to get that data now so they had it in the future should they need it. So when they comprised the 77th Infantry Division, they basically gave them all of the old guys. Okay, the average age of a draftee in 1942 was 23 years old. The average age of somebody in the 77th ID was 33 years old. And bear in mind, that's the average. The oldest new recruit I could find in the 77th Infantry Division was 53 years old, and he was a World War I veteran. And some...
That's pretty badass, actually.
Yeah, I mean, like, all right.
Imagine being 53 years old and going like, oh, we're going to war again.
Well, you know, after being on the internet for so long, I can kind of imagine it.
Some of you are probably like, yeah, 53 is pretty old, but 33 isn't that old at all. Why are you making a big deal about this?
As somebody who has passed his 33s, no, it kind of sucks. Especially in military terms.
Oh, God, yeah.
I have heard it described thusly. Once you pass 30, every year thereafter, you get a forced Windows update that makes your operating system more shit.
Oh, yeah, man. It's totally true.
And it just happens. You're sitting there one day, it's like, my thing hurts. Why? I haven't even done anything. And it can be anything. Your leg, your knees, your elbows, fingers. Who the fuck knows? God will roll the dice and give you some sort of ailment every year thereafter, forevermore.
What's really annoying as well is just that things just that you could do really easily just don't come as easily as before. And it's just really, really annoying.
It is. It's terrible.
This. Okay, look, as far as joining the military at the age of 33, that's ancient. That's almost unheard of. I mean, think about it. You can join the military at 17 years old, be done, and have 20 years in service with a full pension at 37, 38 years old, and these guys are joining at 33. I mean, when I went through basic and AIT, the oldest guy we had was my buddy Flores. He was 28 years old, and everybody called him Graybush the Wise. So the point I'm trying to get across to you is like, yeah, it's really weird to join the military that late in life, but also, it's a good kind of weird because every person that's been in the military ever, if you came up to them and asked them, hey, if you had to go off to war and you could either go with a platoon of 18-year-old kids or a platoon of 30-year-old men.
Yeah, I see his point here. I'd pick the 30-year-olds.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
See,
okay, they're not going to be quite as fast, but...
Yeah, but the problem with 18-year-olds is, at that point, you think you're bulletproof. And you're going to act as if you're bulletproof.
Yeah.
And that means that you are going to be surrounded by a bunch of crazy idiots who genuinely believe that if they stand up in front of the machine gun, it will magically miss them. And you are going to have to be right behind them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's picking the 30-year-old men 100% of the time. Because you gotta realize, when these 18, 19, 20-year-old new recruits are coming in for training, half the battle is having the Army, the drill instructors, come in and teach these kids all the life lessons that mommy and daddy never got around to.
Yes. They spend a good 6 months of basic training just being taught that you're actually not special, and then hitting them. Whereas a 30-year-old, he's aware he's not fucking special. This is a lesson that has been drilled into him by God now for 10 years.
While they were growing up as kids. They don't have to do that with a bunch of 30-year-old men. These guys have been out in the real world for 15 years getting their asses whooped by life and eating shit sandwiches. They're already with the program. So the 77th ID shows up to Fort Jackson, South Carolina for basic training. That's 16 weeks and then another 12 weeks for their advanced training, which for most of them is just going to be infantry. And they absolutely crush it. They show up and there's very little like discipline.
Also, like 16 weeks basic training. Fuck. The Americans went to war with basically nothing. They told them how to hold a rifle, maybe discharge it, pointed in the rough direction of the enemy, and said, walk. Poor Americans.
I'm sure it was different in Vietnam.
It might have been worse. God help me.
I know.
Meanwhile, over here in Europe, we're like, the Germans are like 6 months training. We haven't learned how to salute properly in 6 fucking months. What's wrong with you?
Or life lessons being handed out by the drill sergeants because, well, they're older than most of the drill sergeants. It's literally a bunch of middle-aged men showing up being like, okay, I'm here, show me what I gotta do to not die. And then, whenever somebody was being an asshole, they would police themselves. Like, one of the new recruits was being a dick, all the other new recruits would handle that issue internally before it even got to the drill sergeants because they wanted everybody squared away. So fast forward 2 months, they are on week 8 out of the 16 for basic training, and they are head and shoulders above all the other new training divisions. They are the best division they have. They are so good that when Winston Churchill came over from England halfway through their basic training, they were the unit that was selected to do a parade for Winston Churchill to show off how badass the American army was going to be. And here's what Winston Churchill
That's kind of nice, actually.
had to say about it. Quote, "The faces of the men gave me the greatest and everlasting memory of the day. I have never been more impressed than I was with the bearing of the men whom I saw. The undemonstrative, therefore grim determination of the newly drafted bodies bodes ill for our enemies." So this experimental guinea pig unit of old guys is absolutely crushing it. They go on, they finish basic training. I don't have the exact stats, but it is documented that a disproportionately high amount of all of the 77th Infantry qualified as expert with the M1 Grand right out of basic training. From there, they go and they do their 12 weeks of advanced training, and they do a great job at that too. At this point, upper military is kind of looking at these guys like, okay, well, this is actually kind of working. Let's see what these old guys can really do. So they send them down to Louisiana for 8 weeks, and they're going to do a war game, the 77th ID going up against another new division that just got stood up, full of 23-year-olds. Literally, the old guys versus the new guys, youth and exuberance versus old age and treachery. We're going to have a legit war game and see who outperforms the other. And when I tell you the 77th ID whooped that other division's fucking ass, it is a complete understatement.
Oh my god, I almost died! I almost died, that was so scary!
Okay, now at this point, it's winter in Louisiana. It's gonna be cold at night, especially considering they're not allowed to have tents and they're not allowed to have fires. They're just out there sleeping on the ground for 2 months doing this war game, going force against force. So,
Okay, hang on a second, American. How cold is it actually in Louisiana in the winter?
Louisiana, winter. Let's see. Louisiana, winter, temperature.
Rarely drop below freezing.
Google.
Humid subtropical climate.
There you go.
I don't think it's that cold.
Winters are generally mild with 66 Fahrenheit. Okay, I don't know what retard speech means even in temperatures.
Okay, right. The average temperature, I'm looking at one.
I have
So
lost.
in January, the lowest it gets down to the record, well, not the record, but you've got a place called Shreveport that gets down to 2 degrees Celsius. You've got the average low is 4 degrees. The average is 9 degrees.
Okay, so nippy, but not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that fucking bad.
It still suck for 2 months without a tent, but yeah, you're fine.
Sure. But if you had to sleep outside, that's tolerable. You know, you're in a sleeping bag, you're on the ground, that's a tolerable temperature.
Oh, yes. I mean, fuck, we used to do that in school. We went on sleeping trips outdoors during winters like that. And we've been out in actual winter, like -10. You're fine. Yeah. It's not going to be fucking comfortable, but you're going to live.
Yeah.
Naturally, the 77th ID wants to play the mental warfare game and ruin it right out of the gate for these young kids. So bearing in mind that it's winter and everybody's going to be cold at night, the 77th launch...
Based.
Based, indeed.
Based, I like. Yeah, we're just gonna ruin it for them.
Is a bunch of very aggressive ambush attacks, basically pinning the other force between them and a river, and they just keep advancing closer and closer until the other division is forced to cross the river on foot, getting all of their shit completely soaked. Okay, so
I think I've heard this one before. The Romans and the Carthaginians. Yes, I know what happens next.
Yeah.
some of you are probably like, oh, they got a little bit wet. Who cares? Trust me, if you were living outside.
Yeah, no, okay, so this changes things. -2, -4, not that bad. -2, -4, wet.
No. It's not -2. It's 2.
2. Okay, that's
Nothing's
it still
frozen.
sucks if you're wet.
Yeah, it's still not fun. Yeah, exactly. And it'll feel worse when you're soaked through. So
Yes.
yeah, it's still not fun, but it's not -2.
For 2 months, and every possession that you owned to your name was on your back in a backpack, and you weren't allowed to have a tent or fire to dry your clothes, and all your shit just got soaked, you would care. Okay, there's nothing worse than walking around for 16 hours holding a gun with a heavy backpack on, and the only comfort you get at the end of the day is some dehydrated food and the opportunity to change out your wet socks for more wet socks. Okay.
Also, is the US military retarded? Yeah, okay, so this whole, like, no fire thing is mostly just to harass recruits, okay? Like, no. Nobody gave a shit during the Second World War if you made a fire. You can cover that up fairly easily. In fact, making a fire is absolutely key to your very survival. The Russians built mud huts, basically little barnyards, specifically for this purpose. They're part of their doctrine. The Germans did the same. Everybody understood that fires were kind of important, and especially if you're soaked. Like, if the instructors are actually going around, like, oh yeah, you're soaked to the bone, you're at like 2 degrees, you can't have a fire, people would have died at that. So bullshit. I call bullshit. 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 Very much so bullshit.
Okay, whether you believe me or not, I just need you to trust me. It's going to take a mental toll on some 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. Believe me. And from there, it only gets like 1,000 times worse. I keep reiterating this, but you got to remember, these are middle-aged men, okay? These are dudes that are working construction jobs in the 1940s before OSHA was around. Walking around on I-beams with no harnesses, eating lunch, and nobody gives a shit. You got dudes that were working in offices before they had an HR department, okay? These guys are bringing so much workplace pranks and tomfoolery to the table. These 20-year-olds aren't going to know what hit them. So one of the big things the 77th does is they start pretending to be in this other division at night. Like, they'll roll up at night, there's like one guy left awake, you know, pulling guard duty, whatever. They'll roll up to him and be like, hey, Commander so-and-so, whatever the fuck, said I need to take this Jeep and go take it over to HQ, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, whatever, man. He, like, nods back off of sleep while he's supposed to be on guard. 77th ID guy just steals their Jeep. I mean, strategically transfers it to a different location. Like, they're stealing all their vehicles. They're stealing all their equipment. And then, you know, usually when you're doing military stuff, you want to...
That is pretty cool, actually. That is pretty cool.
Yep.
Sever enemies' communications so they can't communicate at all. Not the 77th ID. No, we've got fucking Jimmy who worked for the phone company for 10 years. We're going to find the enemy communication lines. We're going to tap into them. And then we're just going to start feeding them bad intel to make complete fucking chaos behind enemy lines. And then all the boys are going to...
See, this is why you want experienced men. Like soldiers who could do things other than just stand there and shoot.
Yes. People who know how to fuck with other people.
We're going to gather around the radio at night, and we're all going to listen to the higher-ups in their chain of command complain about how poorly they're performing. At the conclusion of this war game, the 77th ID has just completely outclassed this other division full of young men, and it really starts raising some eyebrows, because now people really want to know what these old guys are physically capable of doing. And this is where it goes from being kind of fun to not fun at all for the 77th ID, because the real experiments are about to begin. They send the entire 77th to a place called Camp Hyder. It's about 100 miles outside of Phoenix, Arizona, in the middle of the desert. So they show up to Camp Hyder. It's literally just the desert with a couple of tents. Not even enough tents for the entire division. They have to go and dig their own wells to find their own water. And then, because they didn't have enough tents, they're out there literally building mud huts to live in. So after they get done literally building an army base from scratch, the army comes along and they're like, hey, we want to know how far a normal dude can march in the desert in 100-degree heat if we only give him 1 quart of water. So here's what you guys...
The army trying to figure out what the army can do. I mean, part of me thinks that these motherfuckers could have read some books, because we've already done these experiments in Europe a long time ago. Several times, in fact. Hundreds of times, literally.
Yeah.
But okay, you're experimenting. Now, the fun part is the human body can actually walk for a fucking ridiculous distance, even on virtually no hydration. It is one of the good little design features of the human body, but it's going to be really uncomfortable.
Oh man, humans are endurance hunters. Like in fact, I don't know if there are any animals that can actually outpace us when it comes to endurance. Like, I know that wolves are also persistence hunters. Dogs can run for a long time, but humans have just got this insane stamina. A well-trained human, I don't. But like, humans who are like active every day have just got insane stamina.
Yes. It's primarily dictated by time during the day. So the average distance is something like 20 to 30 miles for the Americans. And throughout history, you have seen exceptional feats of marching. This is what Napoleon used so well to his advantage, as he realized that he could just kind of order his men to keep walking and never stopping.
Oh, yeah.
Ever.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a price to be paid down the road, but,
There was a battle during the Italian campaign, I think, where he made his men walk 50 miles in a day, basically jogging the whole fucking time. Mm-hmm. Because if they didn't, well, they'd all be fucking killed, so do it, I guess.
You guys are going to do, we're going to force you to march, and you're just going to keep marching until a certain number of you pass out. That way, we'll...
And that's heat stroke, too. Now, heat stroke is a nasty little fucker, because you don't even notice that you're getting it until you're falling over.
Yep.
We'll have a really good idea of how far a single dude can go on 1 quart of water. So this is already borderline cruel and unusual punishment, but it doesn't stop there, because after they figure out how far a guy can go on a single quart of water, they decide that they're going to start having 6-day exercises where they have the second lieutenant, the lowest ranking officer that presumably knows the least, guide a platoon of men through the desert for 6 days straight. And if they want to be able to get their next day's supply of water and food, they have to be in the right place at the right time at the end of the day. Otherwise, they just don't get the food and water.
You thirsty, Stanley?
Okay, they're literally doing some Hunger Games shit with their own troops. And for those of you that don't know, it's literally
Dude,
a
it's
running
a fucking
joke.
war. Of course they're doing that.
Yep, this is the military.
I'm not shocked by that. What do you think you're doing when you're signing up to the military?
In fact, I think pretty much every military has the tradition of something like Hell Week, where they basically just put you out in the... Oh, God. So we've got this thing in the Norwegian military, where they put you out in the forest a week, they give you nothing. Nothing. Like, no food, no water, and they maybe give you some half-rotted fucking eggs and shit. And this is literally done to break you. It's to show you, like, listen, things can really fucking suck. Like, really, really suck.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
And we need you to understand just how much something can suck so that it'll feel better when things are only kind of awful.
Yeah.
Joke in the military that lieutenants suck at land navigation and always get lost. There's literally men that die from exposure and dehydration during this period at Camp Hyder from the 77th Infantry Division. And this goes on for 6 months that the 77th is out in the middle of the desert having experiments run on them. And after that 6-month period came to an end and they got orders saying they were going to move on to some other type of training, they decided that in true military fashion, they were going to put this behind them by utilizing a dark sense of humor. The joke was that their time in the desert was just as shitty as actually going to war, so they came up with their own medal, the Hyder Campaign Medal, to commemorate their time in the desert, that they would all wear on their uniforms as a joke. The ribbon of the medal was made out of a piece of sandpaper, and the medal itself was a broken thermometer. And to absolutely nobody...
That's a good joke, though. Like, yes, that's good. It's like, okay, well, that was awful. It's done. Thank God.
Pretty surprised the War Department decided that they were not going to officially recognize the Hyder campaign medal. Regardless, the entire unit is now being shipped back over to Pennsylvania, where they're going to have 1 month of advanced rifle marksmanship training, despite the fact that most of them already qualified as expert. So they go, they do that, they get even better at shooting than they already were, and then after that, the Army comes out and they're like, hey, I've got this new sub-zero temperature sleeping bag that I want to have tested, so we're going to take you guys, our guinea pig division, we're going to send you over to West Virginia, have you go up in the mountains with this new sleeping bag, no tents, no fires. I just want you to live there for a month, hang out, freezing your ass off, and just sleep in these sleeping bags at night. And if you guys survive, we'll know they work. Okay, good. See you in a month.
Should I keep going?
And this is why you get the middle-aged men, because this is just more suffering.
Yeah.
Why are you the way that you are?
So they go, they do that, they freeze their balls off for a month, they climb back down from the mountain, and the Army's like, hey, guess what? It's early 1944, we've decided that we don't need you guys for D-Day, you're not going to be going over to the European theater, we're actually going to send you over to the Pacific to help out the Marine Corps. So, next step of your training, you're going to head over to Virginia, and you guys are going to train for a month doing amphibious landings in winter in the Atlantic Ocean, but good news, you're already cold, so have fun. So they go, they do that, they crush it, just like everything else they do. Now they're headed off to Hawaii, where they're going to go through jungle warfare training for 6 weeks.
The war has lasted for 4 years, gentlemen. It is finally time for the Americans to fight.
Sorry, Americans, you're not getting out of this one.
And yes, Americans, I know you were fighting in Africa before, and in the Japanese, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is kind of like a habitual thing when the Europeans are like, oh, the Americans turned up, it's like, great, now we're going to have to teach them how war works. You know?
At least this time they taught themselves, which is nice. And the best part is, when the Americans first turned up in Africa and the Kasserine Pass, the Germans were nice enough to teach them war too.
Shit.
Not too bad, really.
Now, this is probably the most important training the 77th is going to get, considering that they're going into war in the Pacific Theater up against the Japanese in a jungle environment, and the Japanese are presumably already masters of their own environment. And pretty
Okay, so this too is a common myth, by the way. No, the Japanese were not masters of jungle warfare. They fucking sucked at jungle warfare. Japan is not a jungle island, you monkeys.
Yeah, why does he think that?
It's a common myth amongst...
No, hang on. I assume it's because they'd conquered Southeast Asia, right?
Yes.
But
So
they think that.
the myth basically comes from their success in... Indochina. That was the thing. So the success in Indochina, where they humiliated a small group of British people and a large group of Indians who refused to fight.
Oh man, the Japanese taking over our thing in Indochina was really annoying because it was just stupid. It's like, what, you think they can't come from the jungles? Yeah, no, they're just going to come from the sea. It's like, no, whatever. You guys deserve to lose. Fucking idiots. Embarrassing.
That entire campaign is just awful because again and again, the defending forces just kind of assume that the Japanese would never think of walking around their prepared positions through the jungle. And that's where the myth comes from, that the Japanese were these super jungle warriors. No, the Japanese fucking sucked at it. They've failed again and again to produce enough food to feed their troops in these environments. They died in their dozens. God, I would highly recommend reading some of the Japanese war diaries for the people fighting on many of these tropical islands and shit. They were surviving of like a handful of rice. All of them had dysentery. All of them had horrible fucking lives. And by and large, they were slaughtered in tremendous numbers because they were terrible. They had awful positions. The only reasons why we keep giving them like, oh, they were really tough is because they made us kill all of them every time. Burma. Yeah, that was the one. Well, Indochina. No, Indochina. Yes. Yeah, Indochina. It's a large island place down there, right? I need to check myself.
Well, that's the French. It was the French colony, wasn't it? Indochina.
Yeah, I'm right. Indochina. I mean, we don't call it that anymore, but that's what we called it during the time, so I'm right. Fuck you.
Pretty much everybody in the 77th is hyper aware of this, and it makes them take this chunk of training that much more serious. And one of the things that they notice is when they show up to Jungle Warfare School, there's the archway that they walk through. It says Jungle Warfare School, and it's got the tagline below it in quotes. It says, "If they don't stink, stick 'em," which is obviously referring to what you're supposed to do with your bayonet if you come across an enemy's corpse that isn't decomposing, because at this point in time, it was highly likely that that person wasn't actually dead and they were pretending to be dead or hurt so that they could ambush you. And I believe that's one of the big lessons that the 77th took to heart from this period of training for reasons that we're going to find out in a little bit. So they finished Jungle Warfare School, and that's it. They're going off to war in the Pacific Theater. After over 2 years of training in multiple different climates, in multiple different terrains, all over the United States, spanning over the course of 2 years, this unit that is now on average 35 years old is headed to war. So July 1944, they show up, and they're going to be helping the Marine Corps with the Mariana Islands campaign. This is a Marine Corps operation. They are running the show, and the man in charge is the Marine Corps General Holland Howling Mad Smith. And he has not been very impressed with the Army's performance so far, helping him with the first island in the Mariana Islands campaign, Saipan. During the Battle of Saipan, General Smith was so unimpressed with the 27th ID's performance that he actually had their general relieved of command and had a Marine Corps general placed in charge of an Army division. So General Smith is already not thinking very highly of the Army's capabilities, and when he finds out that he is being reinforced with the 77th ID, a guinea pig unit that is comprised mostly of middle-aged men, he's not very happy about it. So they're getting...
The Battle of Saipan, too, is a perfect example of, like, the disparity in forces here. So, for Saipan, the Americans outnumbered the Japanese something like 3 to 4 to 1, and took a total of, like, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 casualties, compared to 5 times that of the Japanese. Like, the entire Pacific War was just a relentless bullying campaign against a second world army wielding World War I weaponry. Ah, the Japanese. The poor Japanese.
Well, you know, they did it themselves. You
They
didn't
did.
have to actually go and bomb Pearl Harbor, did you?
I didn't. And if in that circumstance the general is still so upset with an army division that he relieves it of command, things are pretty bad.
ready to invade Guam, and General Smith's plan is to not send in the 77th Infantry Division as a singular fighting unit. He's going to split them up and basically use them for reinforcements. Like, if this unit over there lost a platoon, he's just going to take a platoon from the 77th, give it to those guys over there, and he's basically going to disband and piecemeal out the entire division, is his plan. And that's exactly what happens. For the amphibious landing on Guam, they take some of the 77th ID platoons, they give them out to some of the Marine Corps units, some of the other Army divisions, and they send them into battle. A couple days later, General Smith, wondering how the old guys are doing, writes out to his commanders like, hey, how are these old guys performing? Can we use more of them? What's the deal? And to General Smith's surprise, according to all of his leaders in the field, these old dudes can throw down. They're absolutely awesome. A Marine
I do love that.
Based old dudes.
Based old dudes, indeed.
battalion commander even went so far as to say, and I quote, "There is no doubt in our minds that the 77th were good people to have alongside in a fight. As a result, we started referring to them as the 77th Marine Division."
I see, that is the height of American praise, too. Just good people.
Okay, full stop. I need you guys to really appreciate what just got said here, okay? The Marine Corps, I love them, but they're not good at a whole lot. Really, if I were the commander-in-chief, I wouldn't call up the Marine Corps unless I wanted something dead, broken, or pregnant. That's really where they shine. That's their wheel.
And to be fair, that is pretty much the definition of warfare. Dead, pregnant, or broken.
Less pregnant, but yeah.
Pregnancies are an inevitable end result of long-term occupation, which means you won. A retreating army doesn't get people pregnant, now does it? No.
Yeah, true.
House. You want to know what the Marines aren't good at? Giving compliments to other people. They're not about it, okay? So for the Marine Corps to look over at the 77th ID guys, a bunch of middle-aged army dudes killing people in battle, and go, "You're one of us." That's the best compliment the Marines know how to give, okay? It's a huge deal. This is the equivalent of the Jedi Council giving you a seat on the council and giving you the rank of master. This is unprecedented.
Allow this appointment lightly. The council does not.
Copyright
Battalion
claim.
commanders thinks that these are Marines, I'm going to treat them like Marines. I'm not piecing out the 77th Infantry Division one platoon at a time anymore. I'm going to send in the entire division on the Marines' right flank. So pretty much immediately, the entire 77th Infantry Division is sent in, and they make an amphibious landing on the beach on the Marines' right flank. 15,000 middle-aged men from the East Coast rolling up in amphibious tractors, getting out with M1 Grands and Tommy guns, ready to fuck shit up. This is the metaphorical equivalent of dad getting home from work. The Japanese just don't know it yet. And this amphibious landing and their movement up the beach and into battle was absolutely textbook. It was the epitome of slow is smooth and smooth is fast. It was the least chaotic amphibious landing anybody had ever seen. And as all this is going on, the Navy and some seagoing Marines are watching this amphibious landing take place, and a seagoing Marine famously says, "Would you look at those old bastards go," officially christening them with their new nickname, the Old Bastards. Now,
That's a good name, though. I like that.
Yeah, I'd like that too.
Now, the Battle of Guam rages on for about 2 more weeks until the island is secured on August 10th, 1944, and at the conclusion of this
Oh, the Battle of Guam, too. Like, you can't even call these things battles, honestly. There's a wonderful, there's a little memoir on them of one of the Japanese soldiers on Guam. So after getting absolutely fucking annihilated, basically in the first few hours of the conflict, losing something like 20,000 fucking people over the course of like 1 or 2 weeks, just ridiculous. As the Americans just parked battleships off the shore and annihilate everything. The scattered remnants of the Japanese, like, this is a point of view of one of those. They're all trying to figure out some way to surrender without getting them shot, because the Americans were getting quite jumpy at this point in time. And one of them, after having spotted the Americans installing an ice cream shop, just decides, fuck it. I can't be bothered to sit in the jungle anymore as these fucking savages are drinking cola and making ice cream. Honestly, like, that
at the end of the day,
that is something the Americans were genuinely amazing at. The Seabees' ability to just bring civilization to the most ass-backwards place of the planet in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, they do enjoy their luxuries.
Yes. And so the guy sneaks into the camp and is like, okay, if I stand up here, I'm going to get shot. Because he's looking like crap, been in the jungle for a couple of weeks, torn uniform, still obviously Japanese. So he finds his way to the latrines.
Yeah.
Where he finds a guy taking a shit who happens to be an officer, breaks into the latrine, and surrenders to him directly on the shitter.
I just like, what?
Yeah, because he correctly assumed he wouldn't bring a weapon to the toilet, so it's worked out.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Are
but
you ready to
dude's
rush
just
this
like,
yellow
bro, I'm
mare's
trying to take a
fluttery,
shit.
Buttery butt.
Well, he can take a shit later. And hey, if nothing else, a Japanese dude randomly jumping in on you is going to aid the process rather than hinder it.
Well, sure, but
battle, it becomes clear to absolutely everyone, including General Howling Mad Smith, that his battalion commander was correct about the 77th Infantry Division. Because over the past 2 weeks of the Battle of Guam, the Old Bastards have racked up 2,741 confirmed kills and sustained only 248 in return. Okay.
Yep, that's roughly the kill ratio of the fucking Pacific Theater. It was a sad little war.
Okay, that is a ratio of 11-1 going up against an enemy that has home field advantage and the luxury of playing defense from fortified machine gun positions, which...
Hold on. Let's not give the Americans too much, or the Japanese too much credit here. Oh, both cases, I guess. Because, well, firstly, Guam, it's not home island. It's American territory, still is to today. And secondly, by fortified machine gun positions, what you mean is a pile of logs, crudely and hastily hauled together, hauled out of the jungle by the Japanese. The Japanese can't build shit. Have you seen their houses?
Which is absolutely...
I mean, Japanese houses are beautiful.
Yes, but they're also awful.
absolutely insane. And with a performance like that, their new monikers of the Old Bastards and the 77th Marines are pretty much set in stone, with even General Holland Howling Mad Smith himself referring to them as such. Because of their incredible performance at Guam, they are then given some rest and relaxation in New Caledonia, so they hop in the boats and head there immediately. They get about halfway there, and then the big green weenie strikes. Change of plans, no more R&R, we're going to turn the boats around and head straight over to the Philippines, because in Leyte, MacArthur has 4 divisions, and they are completely stalled out, and they need the Old Bastards' help. Now, the Japanese government has pretty much come out and said that they are going to make the Battle of Leyte a decisive battle for this war, and for that reason, they are throwing all the resources and manpower they have to win this battle against America and not lose this island. And up until this point, they're doing a great job. And then the 77th showed up. They show up to Leyte Thanksgiving Day 1944 with the energy of Dad didn't get to take his nap and now it's gonna be fucking everybody's problem. Okay, oversimplified version of what's going on here. The Americans have one half of the island, the Japanese have the other. The Americans are getting resupplied on their back end, and the Japanese are getting resupplied on their back end from a place called Ormoc Bay. So the 77th Infantry is like, that's fine, hear me out. We'll hop in the boats, we'll drive around Leyte, make an amphibious landing, and we'll take over Ormoc Bay, cut off their supplies, game over, we win. To which the chain of command is like, that's absolutely crazy, you're going to be outnumbered 3-1 and we're not going to be able to get you any more supplies. To which the 77th is like, that's fine, we'll just bring some supplies with us and then we'll steal all the enemy shit. And as far as being outnumbered 3-1, we've been hanging out with the Marines this entire time, and if they've taught us anything, that's just a target-rich environment. Let's fucking run it. So fast forward a couple of days, December 7th, the 77th ID makes an amphibious landing in Ormoc Bay. They catch the Japanese completely off guard, take over the entire thing, get their entire division into the bay in 35 minutes. Then they start bringing in...
Now that is fucking impressive. The entire division landed in 35 minutes? That is incredible.
Artillery and M10 tank destroyers. So they get everything squared away, they establish a defensive perimeter, also known as a beachhead. Then, first thing tomorrow, bright and early, they're gonna start kicking ass, right? Right, everything's great. Couple hours later, guess who shows up? A Japanese landing ship full of Japanese troops, not having gotten the memo that America runs Ormoc Bay now. So the Old Bastards, under the cover of night, aim all of the artillery and the M10 tank destroyer at this ship as it gets closer and closer, getting ready to offload its barges full of troops and more supplies. The ship gets as close as it's gonna get, it sends out its first barge, and the Old Bastards just wait patiently as the barge gets closer and closer, and as it gets within 50 feet of them, they open fire with the 50 caliber machine guns, pretty much sinking it immediately, as the man on top of the M10 tank destroyer yells out, "Get some flares in the air so I can hit these sons of bitches." As the flares get shot up, the enemy ship is illuminated as the artillery and the M10 open fire on it, sinking it in a matter of minutes. According to the 77th ID's unit historian, this is believed to be the only time in World War II history where an infantry unit has successfully sunk an enemy naval vessel. So they're already off to a great start, and what happens next is just...
That is pretty cool, though. I mean, it was probably some fucking converted Maru or something, but that's still neat.
Described by an observer from the War Department as a divisional epic. Over the course of the next 8 weeks, the 77th goes on an absolute rampage, taking over 3 cities, an airfield, and securing 43 miles of main supply chain roads, okay? It's not a big island. There's not that many roads. They've basically taken over all of them. And the entire time they're doing this, they are acquiring enemy supplies, everything from food to vehicles, and anything they don't use, they destroy. And they're not just out there stealing all the enemy shit, they're out there giving out death certificates like they're Oprah Winfrey giving out cars, because during this period, they are credited with 19,456 confirmed kills. In return, they suffered 543 Americans killed in action. That's a lot. I'm not trying to diminish that in any way, but it needs to be said.
That is pretty fucking insane, yes.
See, this is the American, like, instantly speaking. Oh, I'm not trying to diminish. It's like, dude, that's an incredible casualty rate. Like, fuck are you talking about?
Yep. What was it? I'm pretty, like... What was it? Let me look this up, because I don't remember here. Well, Leyte Gulf. Okay, here we go. Casualties and losses. Battle casualties for the Americans, 3,500 killed. Total. Casualties for the Japanese, 65,000 dead.
I have lost.
Yeah.
Shit.
The poor Japanese. The poor fucking Japanese.
Mental.
That is a 36-to-1 ratio, okay? 19,000 to 500 is an ass whooping and a half, and this would be studied at Fort Benning by the Advanced Officers Training Program for the next 40 years on how to conduct a clinical, textbook-level ass whooping. This 2-month-long rampage would bring an end to the Battle of Leyte, with America securing the island, and the 77th would immediately be shipped over to begin preparations for the Battle of Okinawa. So they get to the staging area for the Battle of Okinawa, at which point they are informed that there is a small island chain known as the Karamaretto Islands. It is 15 miles off the coast of Okinawa, and the chain of command believes that they are going to be of strategic importance, and the 77th has to go clear them out. Now, the Karamaretto Islands is made up of 4 main islands, and the old bastards decide that they're going to take all 4 of them at once because apparently they're in a hurry. So that's what they do. They launch an amphibious landing on all 4 islands at the exact same time. Some of the islands they take over with 0 resistance whatsoever, and the other islands they face very, very little resistance. And for a second, it was so easy that they were kind of thinking maybe they just wasted a bunch of time and resources capturing these islands anyways, but upon further investigation, what they found was a fleet of 360 hastily made boats that were filled to the brim with explosives that the Japanese were going to use in a kamikaze-style attack, but instead of planes, they were going to be driving explosive boats directly into American ships during the main invasion of Okinawa. So
Yep, this was one of the Japanese things where the Japanese were like, listen, human life are pretty expendable, by and large. And aircraft are expensive, so why not just use motorboats? I will put a torpedo in the front.
I'll fault the reasoning, to be honest.
No, the reasoning is slap on solid. Yeah, no. If you can kill one guy, but blow a massive hole in the side of a US destroyer, it's a pretty fucking amazing trade, really. Unfortunately, driving
Not for that
tiny
one
ass,
guy, but like...
Yeah. But tragically, driving tiny-ass wooden speedboats up against the entire flotilla turned out to be a really fucking stupid strategy.
Really? Can't believe it.
Yeah, didn't work out very well.
being able to prevent the enemy from using these weapons during the invasion of Okinawa made this entire mission completely worth it. Fast forward a couple of days, April 1st, 1945, Easter Sunday, the Battle of Okinawa begins. It is 2 Marine divisions and 4 Army divisions making the initial landing, and the 77th is not one of them. They are being held back in reserve. And just to be clear, they're not being held in reserve because the chain of command thinks that they're the second string backup guys. They're being held in reserve because they have the reputation of being the problem solvers, and they want to save the 77th until they diagnose where the real problem's at, and they're going to send the 77th in then. Pretty much immediately after the invasion of Okinawa, it becomes very clear to the chain of command that they missed a nearby airfield. There is a small island neighboring Okinawa known as Lishima, and on that island there is a Japanese airfield, and that airfield needs to go away. Problem is that airfield is being guarded by 5,000 Japanese soldiers that are very well dug in, and they are not about to give up without a fight. So they send in the 77th. The old bastards make quick work of it, securing the entire island of Lishima in 6 days, with none of the Japanese willing to surrender. Virtually all of them were killed in combat, approximately 5,000 enemy soldiers, with the 77th losing 258 men in return. And while the
If anything, that was a pretty good effort by the Japanese. 500 for 5,000? Oh, it's better than they usually do. And yeah, no, the Japanese just did not surrender. Partially because they were basically a feudal military, believing that God would resurrect them, and because there was tremendous shame in it as well, and the Japanese Kempeitai would keep close track of anyone they thought had surrendered in combat and go harass their families. So, yeah, it was kind of a hostage situation, by and large. Not nice.
Yeah.
While the old bastards are securing Lishima, the Battle of Okinawa is still raging on. It is one of the bloodiest, most hard-fought battles in American history. The island is being guarded.
Which also, by the way, so, okay, this is one thing. For the Americans, the bloodiest battle ever is like 7,000 dead.
Yeah.
Americans, you have had it so fucking nice in warfare, I swear to God.
Yeah, you don't realize how easy you've had it, yeah.
Listen, I'm a Norwegian. We've suffered casualties like that for fucking Norway.
by over 100,000 Japanese
ready to
soldiers
wreck
with
this
hundreds of
yellow
heavy
mare's
artillery
fluttery,
pieces,
fluttery
thousands of
butt?
mortar positions, and fortified machine gun positions. They have the high ground and they have underground tunnel networks. This entire battle is a fucking meat grinder. The entire island of Okinawa is an enormous problem and nobody is having a good time, but one of the most problematic areas is a 100-foot high cliff face where the 96th Infantry Division has been absolutely shredded. This place is known as the Escarpment, or as it would later become known as Hacksaw Ridge. The old bastards are being sent in to do what the 96th Infantry Division couldn't pull off. As they show up, they send 2 battalions up the 100-foot high cliff face to engage the enemy. The Japanese
Now that is a classically American badass thing to do, to be fair. Like, any other army will look at a 100-foot embankment and go, no, we'll attack somewhere else. Literally anywhere else. We'll go around it, we'll use boats, we don't care, we're not going up that. The Americans, meanwhile, like, yeah, we can probably pull it off.
I mean, they'd probably take more casualties than necessary.
But hey, they do it! Pretty impressive.
Are you ready to
Very
wreck
impressive.
this yellow mare's
Japanese
fluttery,
drove both
fluttery
battalions
butt?
back, forcing all of them to retreat. All of them except for one. One of the youngest old bastards, a 26-year-old medic by the name of Desmond Doss, who was unique in that he refused to carry a weapon into battle because he was a conscientious objector that didn't want to hurt anybody, he only wanted to save people. He stayed up top while everybody else retreated, and while evading the enemy, he managed to go around and find wounded Americans and begin lowering them down the cliff face, all through the remainder of that day and all through the night. By the next...
And what is incredibly impressive by that too is the physical exertion. Like, okay, so first you need to find the guy, right, constantly afraid of your life the entire time, running from shell creator to shell creator, under fire. Then you've got to pick up a 33-year-old, fully grown, combat-fit man, carry him all the way back, dodging the same bullets, and then lower him down that entire embankment, and you do that 75 times.
I mean,
Wow.
it's not easy, is it?
No, that is pretty fucking incredible.
Next morning, he had single-handedly lowered 75 men down a 100-foot cliff face, saving all of them. The next day, the 77th would attack again, this time sending up one battalion to engage the enemy and the other battalion out and around the side to flank them.
Fucking Americans! Just do that! Go around! I swear, sometimes.
There's no need to take this many casualties.
I know you're just fighting the Japanese, but if there was a path around, take the path around.
Yeah, this is sounding a lot like Xerxes at Thermopylae. It's like, yeah, I'm going to win, but it's like, yeah, but do you have to win like this?
During this battle, Desmond Doss would become mortally wounded by grenade shrapnel and sniper fire. While wounded, he continued to insist that the other medics and litter bearers continue to save other men rather than himself. The old bastards would finally take the ridge, killing over 3,500 Japanese soldiers and losing over 600 men of their own, but amongst them was not Desmond Doss. The men of the 77th got Doss evacuated in time. He would survive and eventually go on to be awarded the Medal of Honor for his actions at Hacksaw Ridge. But as his journey in World War II came to an end, the old bastard still had work to do. Now the 77th is going to be sent to capture Shiri Castle, but in order to do that, they have to punch through the Shiri Line, which is essentially a natural wall of hills and cliffs.
Shuri. There's an H right there. American. An H. Shuri. H.
And on top of them is 50,000 Japanese soldiers manning fortified machine gun positions with overlapping fields of fire. At this point, almost all...
Thank God the Japanese didn't actually own a single functional machine gun. And this is actually historically accurate too. Okay, so one of the Japanese's biggest mistakes during the entire world, beyond, bombing the American boats, was never inventing a fucking machine gun at any point. They kept clinging to this little idiotic thing, which had a magazine capacity of 20 fucking rounds. The highest capacity automatic weapon the Japanese possessed was 30 rounds. The little fuckers never figured out how to feed belts into their weapons. Japanese were shit at war. Really, really, really shit at war.
Yep.
Really, really shit at war.
All of the American forces are stopped in their tracks somewhere along this line. 2 Marine divisions and another Army division, both stuck, unable to penetrate through. The spot where the 77th have to break through to get to Shiri Castle is approximately half a mile wide and 2 miles in length. It takes them 32 days of constant fighting to clear that 2 miles. During those 32 days and in that single plot of land, the Japanese forces suffered 14,000 men killed in action. All of the American divisions managed to break through the Shiri line around the same time, and the Battle of Okinawa would rage on for a little bit longer, but the Shiri line breaking was the last major defensive maneuver that the Japanese were able to do. Everything after that was small-scale skirmishes, and this would rapidly bring about an end to the Battle of Okinawa. After Okinawa had been secured, the 77th would receive word that they are to be shipped back to the Philippines, where they are going to be retooled, refitted, and receive a bunch of new guys to replace the men that they had lost, and they are going to be the only combat unit that was present in the Battle of Okinawa that is also to partake in the first wave of the invasion of mainland Japan. Which is probably the shittiest compliment imaginable. Hey, you guys did such a great job that you get to do it again. Luckily, however, after arriving to the Philippine island of Cebu, the 77th ID would receive word that America had utilized a new type of weapon by dropping an atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Based and justified.
Forcing the Japanese to surrender.
Started a war, and now we're getting bombed. Well, I'm sorry that's happening to you.
That's very unfortunate.
I've got very little sympathy, honestly. Yeah. Oh no, our enemies have got way more powerful weapons than we thought. Well, isn't that a shame?
And seriously, Japan, you knew that
I'm
already.
just not very sympathetic.
This wasn't really a shock.
But even if they didn't know that, it's like, well, I just haven't got that much sympathy when someone starts a war and then can't finish it.
The worst part is the Japanese kind of wanted to stop fighting for a long time as well, as they realized fairly early on that this wasn't really working out. But the Japanese emperor was too weak to override his generals, so he just kept sitting there like, we are losing a lot of dudes. But the deployment of 2 small portable suns finally convinced the rest of the generals as well that this was just not a very good idea to begin with.
Not sure this one's winnable, sir.
And they would not have to go and invade the mainland of Japan.
Which would have fucking sucked, by the way. The Japanese were training villagers to grab bamboo spears and just run screaming at the Americans.
This is terrific news, but it left just one thing the 77th ID had to do before they could finally go back home. You see, all throughout the Philippines, Southeast Asia, and the rest of the Pacific, there were still Japanese military members all over the place, scattered pretty much everywhere. Many of these groups of Japanese soldiers would refuse to surrender for months, or in some cases, even years or decades, refusing to believe that the Japanese Empire would ever surrender.
Yep, that was that one crazy fucker in the Philippines that went on until like the 80s or something when they finally talked him down.
In the case of Cebu, where the 77th currently were, up in the mountains there were approximately 5,500 Japanese soldiers. Fortunately, they were willing to surrender because they got orders directly from the emperor. Unfortunately, they were willing to surrender to literally anybody except for the old bastards. Bear in mind, we're back in the Philippines. These Japanese soldiers hiding up in the mountains in Cebu are the remnants of what was left after the Battle of Leyte, when the 77th went on a 2-month-long rampage, destroying everything. Now, to be fair, we don't know for sure why these guys were willing to surrender to literally anybody except for the old bastards. Maybe it was because they remembered a bunch of middle-aged men with a blue Statue of Liberty patch on their shoulder whooping their ass, and they just didn't want to surrender to them, or I have an alternative theory. You see, along this entire journey, the 77th has not only gained a reputation for being extremely effective in combat, but they've also gained a reputation for kind of sort of not really taking a whole lot of prisoners compared to everybody else.
Now, to be fair, they are fighting the Japanese.
Yeah. Again, I'm having trouble summoning up any sympathy.
Yeah. It's like anybody else, I see the complaint, like, you're not getting a lot of POWs. Are you sure you're following the rules? Anybody else, but not the Japanese. Like, listen, oh, you're not capturing a lot of Jap prisoners, are you? Oh. Well, what can I say?
Just saying, when the whip was on the other, when the whip was in the other hand, it wasn't used sparingly.
No.
Bear in mind, this is the Imperial Japanese. Not many of these guys got taken as prisoner because they would rather die in combat than lose their honor by surrendering. Despite that, out of all the POWs that were taken, the 77th somehow managed to take on the least. You know what, let me just read you guys the stats and you can come to your own conclusions. For all of the Pacific Theater across all branches of the US military, approximately 50,000 Japanese POWs were taken. That is a ratio of 44-1. For every 45 enemy soldiers that the American forces came up against, 44 of them were killed in action, and 1 was taken prisoner.
The fucking Japanese. There are many reasons why you don't take a feudal military to war, but hey, the morale is a plus.
Yep.
The 77th Infantry Division, on the other hand, only managed to take 358 POWs, which is a ratio of 122-1. And it gets way worse if you want to talk.
Listen, that's still not that bad. It took some.
Talk about the Battle of Okinawa in particular. During the Battle of Okinawa, all of the US forces combined took a total of 10,801 Japanese prisoners of war. That is a 10-1 ratio. Of those 10,801 POWs taken by the US forces at the Battle of Okinawa, the 77th ID was responsible for 58 of them at a ratio of 278-1 compared to the US Armed Forces ratio of 10-1. Okay, now to be completely honest, I have no idea why it's like that. Perhaps it's because the old bastards displayed exceptional rifle marksmanship. Maybe it's the fact that they took the jungle warfare lesson of if they don't stink, stick them to heart, and they followed through with that throughout the entire war. Either way, the fact of the matter is they've developed the reputation that they don't really take prisoners, and now there's 5,500 Japanese soldiers hiding up in the mountains that are too scared to surrender to the 77th ID, and they need them to surrender so that they can finally go home and mow their lawn after like 4 years.
You always start before everyone wakes up, including roosters.
What the? Hey, shut up!
You shut up!
So the leadership of the 77th sends it up the chain of command, hey, you're going to have to get some other unit out here to accept this surrender because they're willing to surrender to anybody except for us. To which the big army is like, just fucking figure it out. No, I'm not sending another group of guys out there. Get them to surrender one way or the other, make it happen, chop chop, hurry up. Now the obvious answer is to just practice classic American diplomacy where you show up with a gun and a sandwich and ask them which one they would prefer and let them know that both is an option.
Actually, American diplomacy tends to show up with a gun and a gun. I have yet to see the Americans show up with a sandwich.
Old bastards, on the other hand, have an even better idea. They are going to close this saga out the same way they opened it up, by pulling some schoolyard bullshit and tomfoolery. So here's what they come up with. A lot of the new reinforcements that they were getting weren't old guys anymore. It was just whoever the army had. So it was 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. So they took them, had them take the blue Statue of Liberty 77th ID patches off their uniform, and they're going to send them up the mountain, have the Japanese surrender to them, separate them from their guns right there, and march them down the mountain. So that's exactly what happens. They start marching the Japanese down the mountain. Japanese are happy because they've gotten to surrender to literally anybody except the old guys with the blue Statue of Liberty patch on their shoulder. And then they get to the bottom of the mountain where there's a bunch of old guys with the Statue of Liberty patch on their shoulder. So the Japanese promptly shit their pants thinking that they're all about to die, at which point the 77th is like, look, calm down. We don't care. We're not going to hurt you. I just need you guys to get on the boats so we can ship you off to wherever the army wants you so that we can then get on our boats and we can go home because we're sick of this shit. And that's what happens. That's it. The 77th goes back home, the unit gets deactivated, and everybody lives happily ever after. So in conclusion, that is the story of the 77th Infantry Division, aka the Old Bastards. A bunch of middle-aged men originally seen as nothing more than a bunch of guinea pigs whose only meaningful contribution to the war effort could be to collect data points and run experiments on, that would somehow go on to become one of the most effective fighting forces the world had ever seen. They saw combat in the Pacific Theater for 11 months, and during that time they would lose 2,100 men, but for every old bastard that fell on the battlefield, he would take with him 22 enemies. The 77th was credited with 43,651.
Very good.
That is very good, yes. That's some fucking Germans on the Eastern Front stats right there.
Confirmed kills during this time period. They were the busiest army division in the Pacific Theater, and they were the only army division that was declared to be Marines by the Marine Corps. For this, the members of the 77th were awarded 6 Medals of Honor,
6 Medals of Honor. Holy fuck. That's a lot.
Distinguished Service Crosses, 2 Distinguished Service Medals, 335 Silver Stars, 22 Legions of Merit, 25 Soldier Medals, 4,433 Bronze Stars, and 16 Distinguished Unit Citations.
Jesus. Okay, that's pretty fucking impressive. There we are. Okay.
That was a good video. I enjoyed that.
That was a good video, yeah. And since it's not politics, we don't have to interrupt with 20-hour fucking rants every 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't really have that much to say, to be honest. It was just fun.
I need to teach you more about the Second World War and the Japanese.
Well, I mean, I just find the Second World War kind of boring.
Yeah, chat, I'm sorry, but Sargon is one of those people who literally think that hoplite warfare is somehow more exciting than the Second World War.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's fluttery buttery butt?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, literally. I have not yet been able to diagnose exactly what is wrong with Sargon, but it's clearly that his aesthetic taste has some pretty serious bugs in it.
Well, all I'm saying is, like, don't worry, we'll talk about it another time. Can't be bothered.
He's a Greekaboo, chat.
Well, no, I'm not. It's not necessarily the Greeks. Just pre-modern warfare.
Pre-modern warfare. It had more
warfare that doesn't
style
involve
to
guns. That's the proper stuff. Yeah, guns ruined warfare.
I mean, sort of, yes. In the same way that drones are currently ruining warfare. I fucking hate drones. I hate drones.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we've got here. Let me get through. Superchats is powered up as well. See, chat, we got through a 14-minute video. I am proud of us. Death on Kick for 1,000 warp tokens. Hello, Arch Sargon. I hope everything is going okay for you guys. Lords of the Fallen Fund, an MLP RPG. Did you know that there's a My Little Pony role-playing game, Sargon?
No. How would I know that?
I don't know. It's a piece of trivia. You know now. No immediate urge to try and get a campaign going at the Lotus Eater's office?
Are you ready to rut this
I
yellow
personally
mare's
don't.
fluttery buttery butt?
But just you personally. You couldn't speak for anybody else there. So there is hope.
Why do we need hope?
Locks on Doppelganger, 500 warp tokens, fucking aging. I'm tired of it. I need to learn necromancy so I can suck the life out of small children. If it's good enough for Epstein, that is true. But do you want to be Epstein? Is he the moral barometer that you'd like to measure yourself against? Just saying. Marksman, here's your chance for the character. Open the Swede box and transfer you into a Swede. Jesus. And sure, that's my biggest stick I have. Play the A Million Amelias by Skybrows. No. I've just decided to refuse this request now for no particular reason other than it's been made too often. And now it feels like it's a popular thing, and I hate popular things. I hate popular things. That's part of my Windows service updates. I hit 30 and I was suddenly like, I hate children and everything they like. It's insane. Question. At one point, there was a colonization one. I got that one immediately. Castellan, hail, Arch, and Carl. Any news on the Razorfist debacle? No?
Sorry, say.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Razorfist. You
one.
mentioned that he'd blocked you last time.
Oh, yeah. He hasn't got in contact or anything. I guess I've still really offended him.
Trevor, keep up the good work, lads. Blood Dragon, thank you. Middle-aged Boomer becomes a member. Welcome. If you're an American, I'm surprised you chose this stream to become a member, but overcoming your prejudice, I appreciate it. Sandu, 2 seconds in and we stop. We'll finish by April. Listen, you mentioned a piece of trivia I knew something about, so I needed to expand upon it. Rubberlegs, Fat Electrician is great. He speaks at specifically 90 beats a minute and is viciously anti-communist. Good. Blue Lithium for 20. I love the reaction you guys have to our casualties, and are we supposed to die in the millions like the Euros for 10 inches of dirt? Nay, that's the enemy's jobs. Listen, okay, I'm just going to say the following. They were fighting the Japanese. That's all I'm saying. Rafael Lustro, if inciting hatred is a crime, politicians who increase taxes should be charged with it. That is a fucking good point. That is a great fucking point. Did you see? So, the European Union recently has decided, and for once this doesn't bother you, Sargon, I think, unless you've signed up to the European Energy Network thingy, but the European Union has decided that there shall be enforced a 25% tariff on any electricity crossing a series of randomly generated borders. Now, Germany is made up of one
We're
such
probably
border.
not signed up to this.
That is
but
good.
I imagine Keir Starmer has volunteered us.
I would hope so, frankly, because this really sucks. Because Norway is divided into 5 of these random-ass sections, which means that in technicality, electricity could be placed under a 100% tax.
You're not even in the EU?
No, but we signed up to the retarded little, like, shared energy thing that they've got. And the best part is we're not allowed to close this deal down because the EU demands that electricity, like all goods, must be allowed to flow freely. With the 25% tariff placed upon it, of course. The European definition of free is very different than mine.
Yeah, it's remarkable, isn't it?
It really is. Chaos, Fat Electrician, is the guy on Twitter who asked you, where are the tits on an oat? He's also a friend with the guy who opened up the Buffalo School scandal. One of the unsubscribed guys. Hey, I remember that. Oats?
Okay.
Tits? Isle Drifter for 10. The Boxer Rebellion was a perfect mix of modern and medieval warfare. A Private Dan Daly won his first Medal of Honor introducing the Chinese to machine gun fire. The Boxer Rebellion
These
was
things are
pretty
also
cute.
fucking so unsporting as well. My God, what kind of fucking inhuman things has modernity brought?
Fire is the answer.
Yes, I agree. And I too argue the unsporting nature of it all. Because, like, the Boxer Rebellion, okay, to put the stage here, the Chinese killed a couple of Christian missionaries. And so, the nations of Britain, Russia, Japan, France, Germany, the United States, Italy, Austria-Hungary, the Netherlands, Spain, and Belgium all declared war on China.
Well, that'll be a lesson learned, won't it?
Yeah. It really, really should, as we have no idea how many people died. 2,000 Europeans, along with about 50,000 Russians, later went in. We presume the casualty numbers are in the hundreds of thousands, but, you know. It actually ended.
I heard it was millions.
Well, that was afterwards, because you see, the Chinese eventually arrived at the point where they turned to the Europeans and said, listen,
You ignorant
we'll
slut.
start killing the Boxers instead. Please go home. Which, when the enemy you're fighting is offering to kill their own people to end the war. Yeah. That was a pretty brutal conflict for the Chinese.
That's how you know it's gone badly for them.
Yeah.
I have lost.
Alex Blackman, the Fat Electrician, is also part of unsubscribed podcasts. Guys who covered the Buffalo School issue. Leywolf the Red.
I'm sure they're good guys.
It is a great day to be an American. We kick Canada's ass in their own sport. Dems made fool of themselves at the State of the Union and a Fat Electrician reaction.
Yeah, that is pretty good. I've seen the Canadians absolutely moulding over the fact that the Americans beat them at the Winter Olympics. And it's like, well, I mean, that's the nature of competition, boys. Sometimes you win, sometimes you field Indians. I don't know what to tell you.
Yep. If you'd maybe presented a team of Canadians, perhaps you would have fared better. Who knows?
You know, I actually haven't been following the Winter Olympics at all. Wasn't even aware that it was on, to be honest, until I saw all these Canadians moulding on my timeline. And I have no idea what the team was like. So, who knows?
Well, you don't really need to pay attention anyways. You can make the same usual assumptions. The Norwegians won the most medals, coming in first, second, and third in many races. And that's it.
How did they?
Yes. In fact, that's not even abnormal. We normally come in first, second, and third.
Yes, you live in one of the most wintry places in the world, though, so I would hope you would.
Okay. Then riddle me this, Sargon. What are the Swedes' explanation? Or the Finns?
Heresy's the question. Fire is
I don't
the
know,
answer.
they're not Anglos? I don't know what their explanation is.
Harry the Human substitute to Rankar. Don't underestimate the support. Adam Attackman did ask Razy. He didn't say no to joining you two. Hard to say if he was being dodgy or confusing. It came from me. Arch may need to ask. I don't imagine we have any drama. I've never been unfriendly with Razorfist as far as I can tell. I think he likes me.
Yeah, exactly. I thought he liked me too. That's why I was shocked.
Heresy's the question.
Skiketo, I see that notification send volume isn't 200 dB anymore. Grats. I know, I fixed it. I'm good at mechanical things. Speaking of notification sounds as well, do head on over to the community tab, and if you're interested, join the new Discord I've set up over there as well, where we will be starting the Vampire RPG this month, and we have votes for everyone to participate in. It will be quite the thing, I'm hoping. Quite the thing. Can I even bring that up on the Brave browser, or is it going to do something stupid to me? I can. Remarkable. Right. Do go check that out too, chat. Very important. You must make your voices heard. Otherwise, well, voting is not a right, it is a privilege, and I have granted you that privilege. And now I've misplaced the window. There it is. Roland Compton, an American coming from Texas. I stand 6 feet 6 inches tall. So is my brother. So is my boss. So is my best friend. I don't know. I think this is American.
I told you, man. Loads of Americans are tall.
Probably like 5 feet, all of them. Harry the Human substitute Rankar. They hated Jesus for he told them the truth kind of thing. Yes. Well, that, and you gotta remember as well, so one of the reasons why they didn't very much so like, Braveheart. His name has now escaped my brain, but Braveheart was that he wasn't merely just telling them the truth, he was going like, you're all pedophiles. Which is a hard thing to hear. I hope. Marine Alva, don't forget the dad that jumped his son's redacted in the courthouse. Probably the only bit of justice that will happen in that courthouse. TT friends, glory to you and your house, lads. Keep up the great work, and may both of your nations find prosperous futures. Sounds unlikely, but I hope for that too.
Well, I mean, we might have a prosperous future if everything goes exactly as it needs to go for us to win.
We'll see. We'll see. But remember, there have been many mirages in the desert up until this point.
Sure, but we've come back from worse.
Chaos, get ready for the Imperium of the good guys. Actually, stream part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Arch stops the video to say what the video will say 5 seconds later. No hate. Big love. Thank you.
How did you know?
Tanushi, America won the war by implementing the Lend-Lease. Norway played a part in kneecapping the German nuke program. Well, sort of. Okay, I criticize the Americans because of historical accuracy. I will criticize my own people for the same thing. The nuclear program, the Germans didn't really care over much. They didn't have the visage of the Americans to go like, wow, this could be a bomb. The Germans were more like, we could create green energy out of this. And ironically, the Germans kneecapped themselves with their environmentalism.
That's so stupid, man. I've tried to explain this to people. It's like, no, they're genuinely too smart to be stupid. To be smart.
Yeah, because the Americans were like
too intelligent to be smart. Sorry, like that.
We could use this to set off an uncontrolled chain reaction that would release unfathomable energies. The Germans would hear that sentence and go, oh my god, we can't possibly do that. We must chain it and harness it for the good of Germany.
Yeah. But also, like, the Germans are just the classic case of overthinking. Like, oh, we should do this, and then this, and then this. And it's like, okay, but 7 or 8 premises down, you're now talking about really retarded things, and you've shut off your entire nuclear supply, and you're completely reliant on Russia for energy. It's like,
yes.
Retards.
Oh, by the way, I want you to hear something that will make you hate the government even more, Sargon. So
I don't think it's possible.
Oh,
I don't think it's possible.
Oh, it is.
I think I'm there. Maximum hatred.
You pay a lot of money in energy bills.
I do.
How do you think the government comes up with the price that you're paying?
Well, I know that whatever it is, they add 25% on as a green energy levy.
Yes, they do. But this isn't a random number made up solely to inconvenience you. How this functions is that there is something called a marginal...
Might as fucking well be.
A marginal pricing system, where, to begin with, you have the cheapest form of energy, which is things like solar and wind, which cost a lot to set up, but once it's up and running, it costs next to nothing, right? It's never enough. Yeah. It's never even close to enough. So we move on to the second cheapest, which is nuclear, which also costs basically nothing and would put our energy bills at like 0 point something cents. But that is never enough either, especially as Germany closed a third of its energy sector. And so we move on to coal and natural gas, which is, of course, the most expensive options. And here's the real kicker. Regardless of if natural gas makes up 10% of the energy required, the pricing for all the energy is set at the most expensive alternative.
Sir?
I'm just tired, man. I'm just tired of everything. Just tired of everything being a conspiracy to ruin everything in the world.
And it is. Like, there's nothing preventing us from simply purchasing the cheapest energy first and paying that price. Instead, we actively elect to pay $1 for the cheapest energy because the most expensive costs that. It cannot possibly be anything but an actual ploy to destroy civilization. I don't believe there's any other explanation.
I mean, the thing is as well, like, okay, yeah. So the thing is with, solar and all that, solar and wind, they've got high maintenance costs, right? With nuclear, and they don't always function as well. Nuclear is just productive 99% of the time. It is insane how productive nuclear is. It's like, look, the answer's there. We know the answer's there. Everyone knows the answer's France is using the answer right now, and yet everyone else on Earth, it seems, is like, I'm going to be a fucking retard about this. I need to be as retarded as possible.
Absolutely. Actively and deliberately retarded.
Yeah, it's malevolent.
Trify. Also, so the world is run by cannibal PDFs. Yes. Alex Jones has been right too many times at this point, frankly. Makes me more curious about these trans-dimensional vampire aliens he mentioned. Is child sacrifice required to stop an invasion or something? I hope so. It would make it a less immoral crime if it was, so at this point, yeah. Yeah, why not?
True.
I am all for the theory that everything done on Epstein Island was to prevent an invasion from hell or something, just because it allows me to restore a degree of belief in humanity.
I don't want to believe that Epstein was as bad as he seems.
Yes, I actually don't, because at that point you're like, okay, it's what are we even doing? Anime Acumen, I am all here for the European Cope episode. Well, there was plenty of European Cope, that is true. Valid European Cope, mind you, but nevertheless. How did the human substitute rank? Hi, American. Look, we know you helped in World War II, but two things can be true at once. Not every military in history was USA. We're just asking, you accepting. You weren't there from the start. It's too much. Difficult. Charles Olson, if you want sporting, quit war and go to the Olympics. But the Olympics are nowhere near as exciting, and we don't really settle the same kind of disputes at the Olympics. Usually.
Yeah. But also, it's not very glorious to just kill loads of Japanese men armed with bamboo canes. That's not very glorious.
It's not sporting.
No.
Mr. Rich Lowpitch, don't forget the Pacific was a massive campaign. Oh, it was. Over the course of sheer just area, it was huge because Pacific, large.
But to be fair, almost everywhere in World War II was fucking massive.
I suspect that global trade in this attempt to make everyone so dependent on malevolent countries that we can't go to war with them no matter what. I mean, I guess.
Yeah. No, that's literally the plan. Literally, according to liberal theory, that's literally the plan. Countries that don't trade, don't go to war. Therefore, you've got to trade with everything and bring everything in to the global financial system, or else war. And that's literally the theory.
But then the malevolent countries do things like cut off our nuclear energy, our natural gas, and then we freeze.
Yeah. But remember, their position is, well, you can't just declare war on people. And it's like, well, I mean, we could just declare war on people. I'm no fucking pacifist. You know what I mean? If there's an evil country and an evil regime that we don't like, yeah, we should just take them out. I'm fine with that. It's just the problem is we never do anything good. We just don't do anything useful. We do everything for international finance. And it's like, they're the fucking problem.
Kamikaze Kid, on G.R.R. Martin question about Aragon's tax policy for kings, considered fair in rule tax between 2 to 15% of the norm. The norm was between 25 to 35. The tax rate for King John was 25%. F taxes. F taxes indeed.
I'd be surprised if it was in that high, to be honest.
It probably was temporarily, because that's the thing too. Kings back in the day used taxes to raise money when they needed it, instead of constantly, forever.
I mean, yeah, people got to remember as well, taxes were variable in the Middle Ages as well.
Had a human substitute a rancor. Long story short, same winner would have won, but more bodies into the grinders. Warren 40k style, if USA didn't join. It ironically was that they joined at the last minute when the winners were already shown to be. That's what the Americans do.
To be fair, smart strategy.
Very smart strategy. It allowed them to dominate the next 50 years.
Can't argue with it.
Charles Olson. Carl, you'll appreciate that hatred for the government is not a cup to be filled, but a fire to be kindled. A good argument.
Yeah, but like it can only become a raging inferno so much. I just hate everything the government does. I don't even get angry anymore. You know, it's like it's way beyond that now.
It has become a passionate dislike.
No, it's like raging against growing old. It's like, yeah, there's no point. It's awful, but like, what can you do? It's part of life. So just hating the government, it's just part of life.
King Spectre, the crusade against slavery is a massive point of deserved pride for the English. Shame you couldn't prevent the United States from having it. The second-order consequences were not at all worth the novelty of having singing farm equipment. Yeah.
I mean, I just really wish they hadn't bothered.
I bet you're regretting that now.
I'm sick of the subject. And like, again, like no one in England has ever really been in favor of slavery, right? It's like, it's just not something that is part of like the English experience. Actually, if slavery ever came up, everyone would be like, well, that would be bad.
Citizenship.
Like, I don't like that idea.
Well, yeah, you got to remember as well, like slavery was primarily a Middle Eastern thing for the majority of this time. Like, European countries didn't utilize all that much in the way of slave labor. It was massive in the Middle East. They had some of the largest slaving centers in the world, and by and large, one of the reasons why Europe had limited sympathy for slavery was because we were one of the primary sources of fucking slaves.
Yeah, and also Christianity. Christianity was very against slavery.
Uh-huh.
Primarily because it's a religion of slaves.
Adam Attackman for 20. Wasn't just the American people. Founding fathers really didn't even want us having a standing army, nor be entangled in foreign wars and alliances. Our concern was just supposed to be the Western Hemisphere. Honestly, this is one of those things too where I'm looking at the US expenditure on military matters and I'm thinking, if they didn't bother, imagine how much money they would have.
But on the plus side, I mean, the alternative is imagine how much more trouble foreign countries would be causing. So
that is true.
I've had this conversation. Okay, look, right, there's going to be a world hegemon either way. So are you willing to cede it to Russia or China?
Yes.
I don't really want that, to be honest. Hate to be the pragmatic guy in the room, but that sounds shit.
And, Americans, I quite enjoy my welfare state, so...
Well, I'm completely against ours, but, like,
I like saying that specifically to piss off the Americans. A silly sailor. America entered the war after Britain used up all of our money and made us massively in debt. A cynic might say it was a ploy to take over as superpower when it was over. I mean, considering the debt that England owed to Lend-Lease wasn't paid off until like 5-10 years ago, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, they were so totally stingy about it, man.
Not to mention, the British economy had been bombed.
Yeah. We've been fighting this fucking war. At points, we were the only guys in the fucking war against the Germans.
That is pretty much true, yes. You kept abandoning your allies. First the Norwegians, then the Greeks.
They kept sucking balls and getting knocked out of the war.
Logan, FDR is one of America's tyrants. Yes, he was.
Many people are saying this.
Strathis, the next RP should be Princess, the hopeful, magical girls in the world of darkness. Some of that shouldn't work, but it does. It works wonderfully. Well, all of the players are princesses, so... Harry the Human Substitute Rancor, calling Sweden weak now works, but starts thinking of someone after being crippled in a wheelchair, but pre-car crash. Peak fitness, master martial artist, just remember where the Vikings came from type thing. Well, not from Sweden, Jesus. Just Sweden. Reed, the US Navy was fighting German U-boat 3 months before Pearl Harbor. Yes, and it was patrolling the Atlantic a long time before that again, too. The Americans wanted into the war. Oh, well, Americans. Their president wanted into the war.
The Germans did declare war on them, so...
Yeah, but that was afterwards. There we go. Freyna Lotter. I see windmills covered all the time out in the Midwest. Lots of maintenance. Overlord 2. Yes. Well, the thing is, once they're running, they can run for a very, very, very long time at minimal cost because you're not actually burning anything by having the windmill spin, except maybe lubricants, which is not a big deal. That's why, like, per kilowatt hour, they're very, very cheap. The problem is setting them up. That's where the huge cost comes into play, not actually purchasing the power. It's establishing them. And then maintaining them also sucks, and then decommissioning them sucks even more.
Not as much as decommissioning the solar, though.
Yep.
Just throw it in the ground, bro.
Don't worry, it'll be there forever, like nuclear waste, but larger. Actually, that's not true. We can make nuclear waste non-dangerous. We can't do that with some fucking turbine blades.
Mm. And nuclear waste is just so much less of it as well.
Trevor, 27. After I turned 30, I remember laughing so hard I hurt my neck. I hate getting older.
Yeah, that'll happen. And you're just like, how did this happen?
No. Harry the Human Substitute, a Rancor, Avatar Star. I remember Sozen's Comet. I don't have a choice but to keep trying to stay strong into my old age. Mindset, if you got no choice, if your life is hard enough, you'll stay pretty strong. Also, not having a life as easy as the boomers, we might have to do that in real life, as that happened a few times in history. We might not have a choice, no matter how much our bones hurt, as our age. Don't worry, you'll arrive at a point where they'll hurt too much. Bassplayer, did you sleep in a swamp? Pretty close to one. There's actually a swamp right above my house, where something lives that eats cows. But that's an entirely different story.
Are you ready to
Empty veins. The problem is that Louisiana swamps are very wet. Wetness does suck. Flexing Potato, have you seen... Lads seen Tyler Oliveira's latest video? PSE is the guy who's exposed Somali fraud. I have not, no.
No.
The Malcontent next up. On the Fat Electrician, the Cheese Mines. The Cheese Mines. Syntho 357. Without the US, the Allies would have lost World War II. Lend-Lease Liberty ships to the UK was the only thing that kept them in the war beyond 41. It was the only thing that kept the Soviets alive with the huge food and material support.
Oh, not saying the other way. I mean, yeah, that's true. But that's not the same, is it?
Ace 1918. Hi Art, hope all is well with you. Was wondering if you'd be interested in streaming sometimes. Oh, yes. I'm sorry. I saw your message and I intended to reply, but then I did that thing where I was like, I'll reply later. 2 weeks later, apparently.
All the time. Yeah.
I do that. Okay, so to put this as diplomatically as I can, I have no problem with you. And I don't have any problem with Deb. And you two are currently fighting like cats and dogs.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Ace has been going a lot harder on Dev than Dev's been going on Ace, right?
Yes, so I'm kind of in a position now where I'm like, okay, I can't get in between this.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to take Dev's side. I'm going to call him a retard when he does something retarded, which he does frequently. But simultaneously, my commitment to Dev as somebody I know means I can't hang out with you either. I'm sorry.
Dev really can stand to wind his neck in, though.
Yes, he can.
No idea what he's doing this for, but what are you going to do?
Yes, but again, my obligation as somebody who remains friendly with Dev, tries hard. I'm not going to get involved on either side, just for safety's sake. Because then everyone's a woman. I know. I can fucking see it right now. The message from Dev, like, you associate with the people I don't like, and vice versa. It's like, no. Women are fighting.
I have to. Yeah.
Well, I apologize, but I hope you understand the reasoning. Now, if things calm down a bit, then we may talk. Ripple Productions, LLC. Hey, Arch and Sargon, are you familiar with the Bat Bomb that was developed in World War II? Fallout Electrician has a video on it. It's hilarious and terrifying. I am aware of the Bat Bombs. Are you aware of the Bat Bombs?
I am not aware of the Bat Bombs. What's the deal?
My God. So, the Americans thought to themselves, the Japanese build a lot of houses out of, like, wood and paper. All very flammable things, right?
Yeah.
So, what if we trained bats to seek out, like, shelter, as they do, like, normally, right? And then we drop bats with incendiary devices tied to their feet over a Japanese city.
Your feet.
If you can do that, why not just drop a fucking bomb?
Well,
we're over the city, we're dropping incendiary devices, but for some reason they're not bombs.
They were hoping that the bats maybe could be delivered from a longer distance or something. Like they could be taught to fly over there or stuff.
Okay.
And the idea too was the bats would be homing bats because they would naturally seek out the cover, right?
The homing bats actually exist?
I mean, sort of. Kinda.
The answer's no, isn't it?
Now, unfortunately, the plan didn't work because turns out that, dropping a bat from an airplane, terrible fucking idea. Launching a bat in a bomb, also terrible fucking idea. Delivery system flawed, as the bats usually just fucking died and stuff. Keeping the bats calm and quiet on an extended ocean voyage to Asia, also a bit of a bother.
No way.
So, in the end, the Americans decided to skip the bats and just bomb them with napalm instead.
Ah, there we go.
But hey, the bat bomb was a good idea. Might as well. Could have worked.
I don't know if I'm persuaded. Animals are generally not that useful for modern warfare.
No, they really aren't.
I can't actually think of a time where they have. I mean, maybe you could say maybe homing pigeons, but that's only because it's a fucking pigeon and we didn't have telephones and whatnot. But now we do, so.
And even that only really stretches like World War One, and even then, we had radios. The problem was that they kept getting, the radio cables broken by artillery and stuff.
Yeah. But like again, that's kind of, I guess,
Flexing Potato. Also, I want to say I am super excited about your guys' setting. The pagan looks and sound awesome. Also, will they get plastic kit for Kickstarter, if you guys have one? Still up in the air as to how exactly we're going to do all of that.
That's a bit further in the future. We've got a much closer idea of how we're going to do it for the wizard one than we do that one.
Yes.
But information will follow.
And hopefully you will all like it a lot.
I'm confident they will. I'm very pleased with that.
Harry the Human Substitute Renkar. Skaven entered the chat. Skaven like chats. Tobin Russell. All I hear is... Scroll YouTube. YouTube, please. Not that much. All I hear is Eurotrash bragging they did the most. Well, we did. Also, we're not Eurotrash.
Yeah.
Very specifically. Norwegian and British. Different. And then YouTube did the thing.
Yeah, we're literally not Euros.
Where was I? Oh, God. YouTube has skipped loads of chats, apparently. Fucking YouTube. There we are. Sophisticated Sonic. Fat Electrician is a Gen X history slop. It's so Reddit coded, people watch the stuff on the toilet and think they're history buffs. Oh, I don't think it was that bad. I think it was pretty good, actually. Pretty historically accurate. He did overlook some of the other units fighting along the 77th, but that was obviously because the focus was on the 77th, I assume. I thought it was pretty good. No major inconsistencies that I could point out. MJ Bull, the Japanese invented guided torpedoes. The Imperial Japanese Navy officers in charge of training him had a passage in his memoir. I am drinking a gallon of sake a night to sleep. I may be becoming an alcoholic.
Trick or treat.
Yes. So incidentally, by guided torpedo, he means they put a dude in a torpedo. Deadpool Kid. With Unit 731 and Kamikazes, are we sure the Imperial Japanese wasn't some part of Chaos or Skaven? No, they were just a feudal country being given modern technology, which is a really bad idea.
Really quick, they didn't go through any of the sort of prerequisite social development that Europe went through. And so literally just flipped from being sword-wielding samurai to gun and Maxim gun using fucking moderns. And it's like, okay, look, a lot happened in that interceding time span in Europe to get to there. And you're just gonna, like, literally just cheating to get through the tech tree.
Yes. Like, we had, like, 400 plus years of development, which the Japanese skipped in a generation. Seriously. Before they went to the war in Russo-Japanese War, the Imperial Japanese Army, with modern weaponry, had to put down a feudal samurai revolt.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
Go watch The Last Samurai. It's good.
It is. It has absolutely no basis in history whatsoever, but it is really, really good.
Yeah.
Adam Attack.
But it does have a base in history. But it's not like a literal historical story, right? It's to give you a feel for the cultures interacting at the time, which is what it does a good job of.
Yes, it does give you a general idea of that style stuff. But God, what was his what was the name? The Japanese resistance leader.
Oh, I don't know offhand. I'd have to look it up, but I'm not going to.
Katsumoto. There we go. Katsumoto. Katsumoto did actually rebel against the government. He didn't do this for like no noble reasons. He actually did, but it was also then used as an excellent demonstration that the new way of war did actually work, because there were a lot of resistance against it within the established warrior class of Japan, because and this was something that lasted into the Second World War II. They genuinely believed that if they just believed hard enough, somehow they'd win. Didn't really work out.
But that's generally what I
Yellow
believe
mare's
too.
fluttery buttery
So,
butt.
I kind of respect it.
Adam Attackerman. Japan plays Heart of Fire and 4 and refuses to research support weapons branch. Yes, that is pretty much what they did.
Or almost anything, to be honest. So much.
The only piece of tech the Japanese had that was comparable to anything the Westerners had was they had a pretty good 75mm mountain gun, and they invented a knee mortar, which was this tiny little bomb thrower that could just be braced against the knee, thus the name, and fired easily in the field by a single man. That actually gave the Japanese infantry platoon a really solid amount of firepower, because you could have a bunch of these guys firing off a bunch of mortar rounds to cover an assault, which was a great idea and something that we should have copied as well. And in fact, we did copy with things like the M79 40mm grenade thrower, but the Japanese never really figured out how to use it, so it was a cute piece of tech that they didn't have the doctrine to use. Dreadnought Logan, I'm starting to feel bad for the Japs, not the Germans. Correct, the Japanese had a really shitty war. Adam Attackerman, I have a great idea, Japan. We won't ask you to apologize for your war crimes if you stop asking for us to apologize for nuclear hellfire. Deal. Well, Honestly, the Japanese don't even care about getting bombed. They pretty much have come to the realization that, yeah, we deserve that.
Well,
If anything, the Japanese complain more about the economic restrictions placed upon them pre-war, because they kind of felt like the Americans forced them into it, which they sort of did.
Yeah. But I mean, they did that in other time periods as well, so.
Assassin, wrong Arch, they are the Type 92. Excellent HMG. Yep, that is not an excellent HMG. That is the fucking clip-fed goddamn machine gun. It was awful in every single way. Literally. Or is that the 30? Yeah, it's clip-fed. Anyways, it was a piece of shit. Duplicate. Prisoners. We're supposed to take prisoners? No. The Proto-European Union wants you to take prisoners. That's all you need to know, that you shouldn't. Adam's Acumen. Easy way to surrender. Lose all your equipment and clothing. Well, maybe, but would you like to approach the American sentry buck-fucking naked with your penis swinging out?
Are you ready to rut this yellow
No,
mare's
thank you.
fluttery
I have
buttery
the
bud?
choice.
Yeah. M1 Grand Music. You people don't like American sandwiches, so boo-hoo. That's true. I've seen American sandwiches, like, covered with, like, condiments and stuff, which I don't like condiment on sandwiches.
Yeah, the worst part is the bread as well. American bread's basically poison.
It's awful. It's genuinely awful.
Yeah.
MJ Bull. Hirohito was kept in the dark about what was happening a lot. The Imperial Japanese Navy hid for months how badly it lost at Midway from the rest of the government, essentially imprisoning the surviving crew. Yes, they did. The Japanese governmental system was extremely non-functional. Like, they didn't talk to each other. Yes. Almost like they were warring clans or something, competing for prestige.
Yeah.
Matthew Hammond put Fat Electrician video, the most gangster dad of World War II. Paul Pappy Gunn on the list for you and something to watch. It follows what an older guy did to rescue his family from a Japanese POW camp. Ooh. That sounds like movie material.
Yeah. How did his family get in a Japanese prisoner of war camp?
Must have lived on Guam or something, or Philippines, I guess. Alfred, Smedley Butler is my favorite Marine. Most decorated Marine in U.S. history. 2 Medals of Honor. 2 Medals of Honor. Jesus. A 2-star general, wrote the anti-war book War is Racket, and a proponent of the bonus army protest.
Are you not familiar with Smedley Butler?
I am not, no.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, he's just mad lad as well, right? He was an absolute mad lad. But yeah, at the end of it, he was just saying, no, it was a racket. He was just fighting for the corporations. It was shit.
Fire is the answer.
I need to change the battery in my headset.
How old is your fucking headset? Chat, donate so he can get a new headset.
Your feet.
There we go. I think I'm back again. I am.
Got something from the 1980s there or something.
1980s? What now?
Just some old headset that you need to change the fucking batteries in.
No.
Who's got batteries in their headsets?
Oh, no. It's not like AA batteries or anything. It's a small lithium battery.
Yeah, but why? Still, why isn't the battery good enough to last 2 hours?
Oh, it is. This battery is from yesterday.
Oh, right, okay.
The battery lasts around like 14, 15 hours or something. And then I pop it out. I put it in the charging dock, which is right next to me, and it's fully charged in 45 minutes.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's fucking amazing because I never need to plug in this headset ever. I just, whenever it goes beep, I take it out, get the new battery. It's fucking fantastic.
Are you ready to rut this yellow mare's fluttery buttery bud?
Ace, I have an excellent book from World War One that would be mostly perfect for a stream. 500 Cockney War Stories, the name of it. To be fair, that does sound like an amazing book.
That would be good, yeah.
500 Cockney War Stories.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to look that up now. Chaos. So, now that you've seen this video, when do we get Sargon to react to the British chicken-powered nuclear landmine? What?
Again, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either. Ripoff Productions LLC. Another story. Fat Electrician has covered Sergeant Alvin York. The World War I soldier either proved divine intervention is real, or that he could placebo it into existence through pure willpower belief. Marine Alva. Cromwell was right. Yes. And? What was Doom? Arch, you need to look up Fat Electrician's short about communism called Cake Baker's Manifesto.
Service guarantees
Cake Bakers.
citizenship.
Harry the Human Substitute Rankar for 50. Thank you, sir. Frostburn isn't a comeback from what I just said, because an analog, no matter how much someone says that this block of ice is hot, you can touch it with your hand and you know they're full of bullshit like boomers outside of analogy say. Frostburn is comeback. No matter how much someone say this block of ice hot. That is true. Very cold things do feel like they burn, which is probably your pain receptors going, don't touch that. No one. So the EU discovered having all the windmills in one place with no wires was very dumb, and their solution is to tax the wires. Yes, the solution is to tax the wires. And the best part is, the tax placed upon the wires will be used on expanding the electricity grid in Romania.
Citizenship.
Oh, well, that's good. Think of the good you're doing in Romania, Arch.
I know. But the problem is, I already don't want to give money to the Africans who are starving to death. I definitely don't want to give money to the Romanians.
I don't want V having more access to the internet.
Nope. Marksman, all right, Arch. Then put this 50 and 5 towards the second My Little Dictator fund. Cruel. Value H. Kirby, become a member. Thank you very much, sir. Jonathan Spitz, British Restore need to start having cosplay competitions at their rallies. What? But people cosplaying Amelia. There's a lot of cultural momentum there, and the ladies will flock to it.
No, Amelia is very much a man thing. Sorry.
Although I do find it, okay, it is a fascinating little, how do I put it, a phenomenon, this. So, one of the biggest reasons you know that we are winning this cultural conflict is that women are flocking to our memes and our side now and saying so in public.
Yeah.
That is a very big deal because women don't really lead the way on these matters, but they will follow very quickly when they see momentum.
Yeah. When it's shown that this is actually something with legs, and it's not just men being stupid, which, I mean, and don't get me wrong, you can understand why. So often it is just men being stupid.
Blue Lithium. I will say we Americans are spoiled in our casualty numbers. We considered Vietnam to be an awful war to fight, but didn't even reach 1 million losses after at least 30 years of fighting. Yes, to the Americans, a conflict in which they scored like a 20-1 KD is like, that was a terrible bloodbath. And that is America's principal weakness when it comes to warfare. You roll into Iraq, you kill thousands of Iraqi military, suffering 0 casualties, except for one guy who had a twisted ankle getting out of his A-10 Warthog after strafing the entire Iraqi armored division. And then one dude gets killed by a sniper and he's brought back on a massive transport aircraft, full ceremony, every camera in existence pointed at him. Dreyfy, been working for 6 months in the Arctic. That must suck. Just got back, so you're reacting to history now, eh? Well, does that mean a Dankula video in the near future about some random mad bastard? Honestly, we just need to bring Dankula on one of these days.
Yeah, I can send him a message.
We've got Metatron next week, so we're finally going to start actually getting guests. So Dankula would be an amazing guest.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I can ask him.
Now, Metatron's appearance next week, by the way, chat, is a little bit dependent upon whether or not his wife decides to pop out a child at that time, so...
Well, good for him, though, you know.
Absolutely, but I'm just saying that if his wife is currently in labor when we start, then he's going to have to be excused. You know.
I didn't even know his wife was pregnant. That's great.
Just so everybody knows. Just so you don't yell at me in a week's time, like, where is he? Like, listen, valid excuse.
Yeah. That's the one valid excuse.
Mez1, Razorfist said he would like to stream with you. You were probably blocked by mistake or by a bot. Okay, well, that makes sense. We should get him on too, then.
He can fucking unblock me then, can't he?
Murdoch Hancock, the Americans suffered more military casualties in World War II than the British. Did they? I'm not going to look that up now, because then I'll have to argue that the Americans were just bad at war.
He still got me blocked.
God damn it. Maybe.
I looked it up. Like, fucking unblock me, bro. What the fuck? The thing is, he blocked me on Discord too, so I don't believe him. I don't know what was happening, but I don't know what happened.
I shall try to reach out to Razorfist then, and we'll see if we can't settle this.
I've always been a fan of everything he does. So it's like, yeah, I watch his channel regularly, you know. Like, because it's one of those things where it's like, oh, he's put up a 5-minute rant. That's great, because I only have like 5 minutes to watch a fucking video. So it's always like convenient, frankly, but I also enjoy them.
You know, Razorfist content has had to remain consistently amazing for every year he's produced content.
Yeah, I've always been impressed with it.
Alex Addison, you mean the server that Lumi set up for you? Yes, that's my server now. It has been bequeathed onto me. Hire the human substitute Rankar. Korn is listening to the logistics of, is it still honorable to slaughter this? Yes, and listen, we need rules in warfare. Like drones? No, you don't get to use them. They're not sporting, they're unfair, and they're gay. Okay? Don't use them. Illegal.
Yeah. I mean, drones will basically put an end to war as we understand it. Because at some point, what it's going to be is automated factories producing fleets of drones to capture automated drone factories. And the corporations that own these factories, or the governments that own these factories, will exchange areas of territory that are miles away from any human habitation. And you won't even know a war's going on, really. Like, you'll see it on the internet or something, or on the news. Like, here's a live stream from a giant drone battle in the middle of like the Nevada desert or whatever, or the Gobi desert or something. And it'll just be like, right, okay, how does that affect my life? It doesn't at all. Who it affects is whoever gets the profits out of all of the fucking licenses you own. You know, you're subscribed to, you know, your Netflix subscription. That money goes to a different corporation somewhere else on the planet. That's what they'll be fighting over. And tell me I'm wrong.
Well, the problem is it'll probably be less utopian than that. It'll probably be drones being used to slaughter vast quantities of civilians somewhere.
It will initially, but in like 100 years' time, drones won't kill people. They'll just kill.
Killed.
No. It won't be like that. Drones won't kill people. They'll just kill other drones. Because obviously droning people is awful and will be considered some sort of, you know, modern Geneva Convention war crime, right? And then it'll just be fucking just drones fighting over resources in inhospitable areas.
Possibly.
And then defenses will get, so it'll be like, you know, laser arrays and stuff like this, where it's like, okay, we can't actually fly a drone in there now. So war will just come to an end.
I think we'll just develop special ops capable of taking out those places then.
Oh yeah, you know, cyber warfare will continue, but like warfare as we understand it.
I hope you're right, but I think we're just going to find some other way to extend the conflict.
No, I'm not. I said war as we understand it. I'm not saying wars won't continue, but like, kinetic war will just come to an end because it just won't work. Like, technology will have superseded it. I guarantee it.
MJ Bull, the US waits to get in war only when it becomes apparent Europeans can't handle their shit. We were not eager to get involved. Oh, except for one of you. Dude Summon, Razorfist might not have thought Carl was sufficiently pro-Israel. Is Razorfist pro-Israel?
I don't think he is very pro-Israel. That's the thing. Like, he's got a very traditional American perspective on things.
Psycho Systar, I am more convinced by the year Western elites are trying to reinstate serfdom. Kind of explains the use of migrants as a weapon to divide and conquer. At the very least, slavery.
Ignorant slut.
Hagnar the Viking, wait, is your VTM campaign just your VTuber wives? No, it's my VTuber boyfriend, too. Disillusioned rightist, FDR was shit, but Churchill was worse. I would not give him... FDR was really bad.
Churchill wasn't an insane socialist, to his credit. He was shit at tactics, but he wasn't a socialist.
Yes. He was not a great strategist, as Winston Churchill did see an enormous cliff and decided, let's invade Turkey through this. But on the bright side, he did also think, let's invade Turkey through this using the Australians.
But, I mean, Churchill just wasn't great at winning wars, frankly. Everyone complains that Hitler's a terrible tactician and strategist. It's like, sure. But, like, his opponents weren't that much better, to be honest.
Yeah, and to be fair to Hitler, Hitler was actually a great strategist up until they got him hiked up on coke, methamphetamine, and everything else in between.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like one of those, well, how would you do it sort of scenarios.
Yeah. Brandon, I would point out, Arch, that the debt is driven almost entirely by welfare, namely Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. Last I checked, it's roughly half the budget. Yes. So one of the big things that people need to understand when it comes to Medicare and Medicaid, too, is it is amongst the single most expensive things you as a nation can conceivably do. It is insanely expensive.
But we spend more on the NHS than we did on the British Empire, like maintaining it.
Yes. And this, by the way, is also largely due to a very erroneous assumption that despite it having been disproven many, many times, we choose to continue to ignore. See, the original idea of socialized medicine was basically, if we buy things in bulk, it'll be cheaper. And if we can argue with the entire pocketbook of a country, we can push harder deals. Because the company will be like, oh God, we're not going to say no to the business of an entire nation. It's billions of dollars. We're going to give them the best deal we can.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way. Because if you were an individual person, it might work that way because you were spending your own money. But the governmental drone that is signing off on these billions of dollars could not care less about your money.
Yeah, not his fucking money, not his fucking problem.
No. What is his problem is that the executive of the Medicare company took him on a great vacation, a resort in fucking Mallorca, paid for his dinner at a 5-star Michelin restaurant. That's what he cares about. And seeing as more and more countries started doing this, well, it was no longer even leverage, because you could go, but we'll buy for the entirety of Britain. That's so amazing. Listen. We're already selling to all of France, all of Germany, all of America, all of Italy. We don't really care anymore. And so prices just went up and up and up and up because the market will price things at whatever the market is willing to pay. And if the willingness to pay is determined by some fucking bureaucrat with other people's money, well, guess what? Hi, the human substitute Rancor. I think it's more than 50 years now, but it frustrates me when the guy who joined last insists they were in the first. I'll outlast US guy saying, USA, 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 only we won your war for you. Yes. Sujard, wind turbines cannot be used in a cycle. They have to be buried in soccer field-sized holes. Also, that lubricant is unimaginably toxic. Very inconsistent, too. Yes, green energy is anything but.
Organisms.
Not to mention as well, okay, so one of the amusing things about wind turbines is that it has proven, without a shadow of a doubt, that animals are really fucking stupid.
Well, there's the problem of how many dead eagles do you need?
Yes. So one of the little
the answer.
Assumptions we made initially was that wind turbines won't be a big problem. Having a giant spinning wheel in the air isn't going to be an issue because the birds are going to be like, oh well, that's clearly a giant spinning death machine that I should avoid. No.
Turns out the birds just can't tell.
Yes, the birds don't actually have the intelligence to see that, and so they will fly past it and they will get schwacked. Truly fantastical quantities of them. Let's see here. What was it? I had a stat on this, but I can't find it right now. But anyways, loads of birds. Simultaneously, though, we also decide to not build wind power in areas that have things that don't fly for some reason, and then we still argue that that's going to be a problem. We built wind farms in the middle of nowhere in Norway, and people got upset because the reindeer were scared of the wind farms. The reindeer were not scared of the wind farms. Unironically, the wind farms posed absolutely no threat to the reindeer because the reindeers aren't fucking 30 meters tall, surprisingly.
But it's still big and scary.
Not to the reindeer. The reindeer has the IQ of a newborn toddler. It looks at that and goes like, well, that's always been there.
Yeah, but that's why it's scary. It's a big thing that's moving. I don't know what this is.
But it doesn't know it. It doesn't even register that it's new. It's too stupid. It doesn't even have object permanence.
It doesn't need to know that it's new. It just needs to know that it's huge and it's moving. And huge things that moved, 500,000 years ago would have eaten it.
Harry, the human substitute Rancor, feels the same as the boomer, telling you how much worse they had it to you and demanding you believe them and getting violent, angry if you don't believe them. Just fundamentally can't believe the ice is hot, no matter how much it demands for me to be. But my brain says ice hot. Pain. Alex Addison, this campaign is going to be great. The players are actually cooperating and planning to mutually support with powers. Some the last party never did. Yes, so I'm going to put out a thesis into the wild with this. I am going to test if women are as good as cooperating as they claim to be.
I mean, I know that they're not from personal experience.
Well, I'm going to get my own personal experience with this now. Brandman, it seems like so many problems nowadays comes from this line on a graph mentality, where every decision is if the line goes in the good direction, 2, 3, 4th order consequences should be damned. Yes, and it's also that, okay, a lot of the social systems that we have now realized don't work, once upon a time, these were legitimate experiments, right? We once thought that, okay, mass immigration, well, they can just integrate, right? They'll be just like us, right? And we tried it, and no.
I mean, some individuals do, but it's only when they're forced to actually join the community. They're forced to actually intermarry. They're forced to actually have kids in the community. You can't just let them go where they want and do what they want.
Yes. It requires a lot more force than we thought.
Yeah.
Bass player. Oh, stop doing that, YouTube. YouTube, why Why? Why YouTube? Of course, Sargon doesn't know about bat bombs. It's very ungentlemanly and would go tut-tut. No, he must fight with honor. That's true.
No, it's not even that. I mean, obviously, I don't just want a random massacre of just people who can't fight back. But the main problem with that is use. Like, whatever you're doing has to actually work as well.
Adam Attacuman, look, man, I just want to make an army of talking rats to use on my enemies that are just straight up Skaven. The malcontent. America basically took a look at Olga of Kiev and used bats, and they figured out the bat bomb. The Marines picked it up. Check out his video. Enigma. Ironically, China proved bats exceptional at mass casualty events. Well,
well, no, they didn't.
They proved that the West is easily panicked, if nothing else.
They proved the West would believe any fucking shitty story they churned out. Oh, it didn't leak from the lab, bros. It was a bat. Someone ate a bat. Shut up. Literally got a lab there testing that kind of virus, and it just sounds scale, but it's the wet market. Don't worry, I was fucking fooled. You know, I was a moron as well. But no, we're just really gullible.
MacLeod. Remember, pitches were used to guide missiles before silicon chip was invented. Some animals work better than others.
Service guarantees citizenship.
Sandom, the fan electrician made the video on the 77th Infantry because one of the sons of the men that served in the 77th asked fan electrician to make it and brought several documents and newspapers to him. Well, that's nice. Just like a video script handed to you. That's pretty sweet. Adam Attacuman, the power of friendship. Yes, it conquer us all. Castellan, Arch, it was called knee mortar because he took a knee to fire it. When the US troops captured and used them by bracing them on their legs, they'd break bones. No. So, the knee mortar, it was actually used on the knee. That's what the little thing was for. Or was that for the foot? It was for the foot. I thought for a moment now that I could bring up a historical document that proved me right, but the moment I look up the actual pictures, they proved me wrong. So let's ignore that for now. Yes, let's definitely ignore this for now. Gus of the Dorks, really? Neutral with Dev? Art, he started bad-mouthing you in his weekly sim, blaming you for random stuff. I'm not sure you're neutral. The actions of Dev does not change Archer's position. Archer remains right here. Firmly, fundamentally
I don't measure myself by the actions of Dev.
Literally, yes. Alex Anderson, no, Archer, you cannot fire Nemo. Shut up. Kill yourself. No, in Minecraft. Fuck, I can't say that anymore on YouTube. Oh, God. Okay, so we were talking about Maid the other day because Maid introduced the ability to get yourself killed on the same day. Because the one thing that the bureaucratic system should be good at is making sure that your death application is fixed quickly, right? Because you don't need to double check that shit. It's okay. But we talked about that at the beginning of an ArchCast, and a bit later, I got a demonetization on that video for suicide. And I'm like, it's murder, and two, fuck you.
Yeah, that's the way to approach it. No, it's a murder.
Yes. They're not killing themselves here. Make no mistake, it's the Canadian government pulling the trigger. So, in Minecraft. Alex Asum, yes, Arch, the type line to use clips that link together to form an infinite belt. You never had to stop to reload and never overheated. Ignorance. The clips, okay. So the clips did not form together. They could be placed together, yes, but they were long and sticking out the edge. You very quickly ended up at the point where you couldn't put the clips together anymore because they would break off. So it was infinitely worse than a belt because it wasn't a belt. It was a long, stiff thing that would break. By and large, it was used in 30 to maybe 60 shot clips, at which point you need to reload the damn thing. It was a retarded machine gun. And it never overheated because it fired at the rate of a bolt-action rifle. Slight exaggeration, but so. Howdy, the human substitute Rancor. To the person who replied to my last comment on this point, it's established. I have enough money to burn if I'm not bored. That is true. Brandon, you forget the but with Manchu Kuo, where the Japanese army decided to attack China independent of the civilian government. Not China. Was it China? The Manchu Kuo incident. Well, sort of. They decided to attack the Soviet Union and Manchu Kuo without civilian approval. The China one, I think they got approval eventually. But yes, the Japanese army was not really at the command of the Japanese government. Nor was the Navy. Alice Anderson, all money to Lumi Odyssey. Lumi Odyssey. And what is it at? That is a wonderful question. I will tell you the moment I find it in the block of text
I have lost.
That my funding window has become. It is at 280. 280. The handle headset contribution. Thank you. Enigma, we only offer the ham sandwich in the Middle East. That is good. Subo Kaiji illuminated cat ears headset. I mean, if you want to buy me one. How does human substitute Rancor? Frostburn as comeback relies on the idea. I don't realize how that works. At the colder temperature, liquid nitrogen will burn your 30 plus Celsius degree skin because of the immense thermal energy transfer upon instant contact. That actually makes sense. Thank you. Yeah. I'd never actually thought about it.
Heresy's the question. Fire is the answer.
Marksman, Brandon, if you're still listening, what do you think about helping fund another play? No. Censorship. Censor that immediately. Archimedes sent 500 warp tokens. America is the support player, getting 50 million points by giving ammo, like in Battlefield 1. And hey, that is a valuable contribution to the action.
Service guarantees citizenship.
And Attackman, war will turn into a sport with sponsors and commercials. You know, I would love some more Unreal Tournament. Did you play Unreal Tournament back in the day, Sargon?
Sorry, say again. I was just looking at something.
Unreal Tournament. Did you play it?
Oh, gotcha.
It was good, wasn't it?
Is it Twin Worlds or something like that? That was the one that everyone played. You know, the one where it's like the two towers at either end and then the bridge in the middle, and it's low gravity.
Yep, the massive towers.
Banging level. Yeah, banging level.
And the map, that was in 2004, I think. The map with the Mad Max map with the moving car running down the map and you actually board it and shit. That was super good. I like the mods that it came with. So it was mods before mods, basically, for anyone who doesn't know. And there was the one where everyone was given a gun and every shot was a one-shot kill. Hell of a good mod, because it made just everything really fucking tense. Yep, the modes were great. I wonder what happened to Unreal Tournament.
I mean, I imagine you could get it cheaply.
Yeah, but that's sort of a series. I guess they just made like one complete stinker and then just closed the door, I guess.
I guess they must have done. Like, it just... To be honest with you, kind of like arena shooters seem to have gone out of fashion. It's now like Call of Duty. Like sci-fi arena shooters seem to have gone out of fashion. It's all like Call of Duty modern warfare shooters.
Like,
they're gay. I don't enjoy them.
It's really... This has got to be like...
Soldier of Fortune back in the day.
This is a symptom of the modern gamer mindset, because now the kids are playing like those stupid like survival shooters where you gotta like be the last to survive on a massive map, and you spend most of the time building or being bored or being nervous of other people shooting you.
Yeah.
and minutes go by and nothing happens, and you get sniped from across the map, and then you need to get in the next match. Like, I don't understand the appeal. Whereas an Unreal Tournament, you load in, 30 seconds later, you're shooting. You die, cool. You respawn 30 seconds again, you're shooting.
Yeah, literally. There was another great mod for Unreal Tournament that was it was a wizard mod where it just you ended up like leveling up in the course of your life and having those different spells, and you end up becoming really, really powerful. And then when you died, you're back to being like an apprentice. And you got to level up again. It was fucking brilliant.
That sounds cool, actually. Yeah,
it really was.
Enigma, so Supreme Commander is the future of warfare. I mean, I hope so. Adam Attackman, Arch released a new Rage Bait video. To be fair to Hitler. No, unironically, to be fair to Hitler. Okay? Right, so. There we go. All right, Morel, that was his name. Right, so Hitler was actually pretty good at what he did. He was a great orator, great speaker. He managed to rally the German people. He made the correct decision when the Allies were weak. He bet that they wouldn't interfere in Czechoslovakia. They didn't. He got that. He pushed it in with Danzig, invaded Poland, beat the shit out of them, correctly spotted the weakness in the French doctrine by cutting through, right through the Ardennes. He did not put a step fucking wrong, beyond ordering the halt at Dunkirk, and honestly, there was no guarantee that German panzers would be able to continue at that point anyways, and any military expert at the time would tell you, like, no. It was only after he encountered a man by the name of Morel that things started going south, because Morel, who claimed to be a modern-day health guru at the time, was like, Mr. Hitler, let me pump you full of my mystery elixir containing heroin, cocaine, and methamphetamines. Literally, Hitler, for the last, since 41, 42, was so stoned out of his fucking mind that he couldn't function, basically.
What's interesting as well is, like you say, he really did wage an incredible campaign in the West, but it was in the East that he just fucked up. And I assume that's when he's drugged off his face, right?
Yes. And again, he was drugged to fucking back. Because, of course, additionally as well, the reason why he took on Dr. Theodor Morel was because Hitler suffered from migraines, really bad migraines, and Theodor was like, I can fix that, and he could, by pumping his system full of cocaine. Not a traditional cure of migraine, but an effective one.
You ignorant slut.
However,
I'm sure it stopped the migraines, yeah.
Obviously, the problem then was that Hitler would get used to the dosage, and like all junkies, he'd then need a bigger fix. But Morel, then, who would lose his ability to be the miracle doctor, and there was even a period where Hitler was almost getting sober, because he brought in another doctor, because Morel wasn't available, and the other doctor was like, my Jesus, what the fuck have you done to this guy? We got to get him off these drugs immediately. His heart is beating at a rate.
How can you do this to him?
Exactly. His heart is about to explode. Jesus, no. And Morel only managed to stay in power by basically sneaking into Hitler with another shot of vitamins, special vitamins. And giving an even bigger dosage. And so the junkie felt better for 5 minutes, and so he got rid of the other doctor. So, yeah. Honestly, after learning about that in the book Blitzed, I am infinitely more sympathetic towards Hitler. Right. I will not make a video about that, huh?
I just want it on the record that I'm not in any way sympathetic to Hitler, so... Because I'm racist against Germans.
But he lived a hard life. He was abused by his doctor.
I mean, a lot of people lived hard lives and didn't become Hitler.
Well, I mean, true. But is that a fair standard? And besides, not that many people did as much drugs as Hitler.
That's not my problem.
Trick or treat. Can I smell your feet?
There we go. Dreyfy. I also just discovered Bo's morning show at 4 in the morning, randomly while starting to play Bannerlord. In fairness, Sargon, you got a point. It's a pretty fun game. Why the fun do I keep getting declared war on, though?
Yeah, good question.
I have the explanation for this one. So the AI is literally programmed to declare war whenever it's at peace. The AI cannot exist in a state of war. It won't. It will declare war until it has 2 active wars ongoing. Only then will it try to get peace. And the moment it gets peace, it will immediately declare war again. And that is basically to make sure that everything is at war all the time and constant action and combat and stuff. So if you make your own kingdom, you're going to be at war. A lot.
Yeah. It's quite annoying, to be honest.
Shibukaji, another problem is that we're so rich we ought to be able to way of thinking. No matter how rich you are, resources still limited. Yes. You're very close now, Sargon. I know. I know you want to go
to be honest
sleep.
with you, I'm going to have to go soon because it's coming on 11. I'm shattered.
Yep. Dreyfy, just to mention, so Kurt Cobain didn't kill himself, and Michael Jackson is not only innocent, but a hero. Conspiracy theorists can bank so much. I told you so credits right now. Fuck, it's what next do steel beams not melt? What are we going to find next? Shadow Ferret. Listen, you don't fight wars to be sporting, you fight them to win. If drones are what it takes, so be it. Then you can conquer the sporting people. Literally, that is part of the storyline of one of her factions in our sci-fi game, and it makes them terrible people. Jonathan Smith's women tend to maintain social stability, men toward team. Women maintaining peace versus men, teamwork.
Women have vicious hierarchy competitions, though, that men don't understand. Men's hierarchy competitions are way easier to understand and really straightforward.
Yeah. Alex Adamson. Haha, Sargon. After the last campaign where you had half-hour debates every time someone spoke, you have no room to talk about cooperation. Listen, that was mostly Rags.
Not my fault. I wasn't the one who wanted the debates.
I'm going to push that blame squarely over onto the one homosexual in the room. John Jim, World War IV, Alibaba versus Amazon drones, Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Shout out to Liangang. I just checked the Discord, and it seems I was de-guardsmaned. I guess from lack of activity. Oh, not that Discord. The other Discord. Go to the community post and you'll find the Discord there. How did the human substitute Rancor for $50 twice again? God, you have given a lot of money today, Harry. Calm down. I got a thing in my throat. And I'm out of water. You must donate responsibly, sir. Responsibly. Also, ladies and gentlemen, not response to anything in Steam. Stream, I'm assuming. Just something I just want to announce for the sake of personal fulfillment. A single step in getting closer to the milestone of my full dream in life, having been the work to fulfill. I'm trying to write that as a personal dream in my life, I'm trying to write. There's a personal dream in my life as of the United Kingdom as the economy about being made redundant. And this being one of my last super chats, but I raised my flaggy victory. I win for my dreams are achieved. IOS. How did the human substitute Rancor? We'll give a full update on the respective service of both people in this dream for anyone cheering me on, but I've completed one extra step of the novel. Congratulations, sir.
Well done.
And I walked a step because I never stopped. Maybe I won't be history's greatest Japanese jujitsu master, and I can still be a master. Tell me, did you give up? That is very good. Yes, you must continue pushing towards your goals, sir. That is admirable. Mr. Twisted Fantasy Doom 2016 Fund. I swear to God, I will get it over the fucking line. You like that, don't you? No, fuck it. You basically funded this by yourself. I'll write off the last 50 for the fund just to make it funded there. Funded. There you go. Congratulations, Doom 2016 has been funded.
It is good. You will enjoy it. I just learned what the Old English word for fox is.
Ah, what is the Old English word for fox?
Take a guess.
Thief?
That's fox.
That's retarded, Sargon.
It's not retarded.
It is retarded.
No, it's not. It's just very long continuity.
God damn it. It's not a new word. It's not the old word for fox, then. It's just the current word for fox. Fuck's sake.
I didn't say it was an old word for fox. I said it was the word in Old English for fox.
Well, at least you kept one of your words instead of borrowing the rest from the Norwegians.
There's basically no difference.
Jenkus the Great, I will watch this later. Good night. I got the Lotus Eater's coffee cup, by the way. Ooh, nice.
Ooh, very nice.
Ben Hall, message retracted. I see. Very inappropriate, I'm sure. Ackermans, Halo and COD multiplayer replace arena shooters. Plus, to be good in them, you need a lot of skill for top-level playing. I hate modern Twitch reaction players. Young people just need to go out into the woods and Minecraft themselves. I don't want to play a shooter against somebody who spends 7 hours in an aim trainer every day. They ruin my fun. I just want it to be
Also
as old
someone
boomers.
half my age with twice my reflexes.
Yes. Fuck those people.
Can't be having it. Yeah.
We need to segregate service by age. Ben Hall, imagine if the Axis standardized weapons between member nations. Oh, that would be terrible. Can you imagine? The Italians giving the rifles to the Germans. Ooh. Dreyfus, Hitler at the, I think, 1936 Olympics on video tweaking out from the drugs he's on. Interesting. I think Joe Rogan showed the video of him. Oh, no. He wasn't on drugs back then. It was much later. That was literally just Hitler being a spaz. Probably. But yeah, he wasn't on the drugs until quite a bit later.
Arch's thesis is that Hitler was a great man, but not a perfect man.
Largely correct. He had some flaws here and there. He committed some mistakes. Had a minor lapse in moral judgment here or there, I admit.
To be honest with you, though, if he didn't commit the Holocaust, nobody would hate him.
Yeah, probably.
Well, he'd be literally like Napoleon.
Or if he was born in the Middle East.
Oh, well, yeah. But, like, seriously, if he was just like a conqueror like Napoleon, he'd be just a historical figure.
Yes. And if he was born in Turkey, he would be a famous, lauded historical figure. So now this, the best mods for Unreal were Alien Swarm and Red Orchestra. I bought 2K4 Unreal Tournament 2, I'm assuming, only to play those, but licensing the engine was more profitable than the game. Yes, they even made full games out of those, which is awesome, of course. And Omendrous becomes a member too. Thank you very much, sir. And lastly, Marksman, I love our California solar farm with mirrors that create heat rays that vaporize thousands of birds each year. The videos that pop up from them are funny because it looks like a cartoon. Fresh cooked birds falling from the sky. And Mechanicus, just out of curiosity, but if the Eldar could be free of the thirst to be bowing down, swearing loyalty to the Imperium, do you think they'd do it or choose death? Oh, they'd choose death. They view the Imperium as filthy monkey. It would be like us swearing to serve monkeys, literal apes. The Eldar are far too racist for that. And with that, we are at an end. Thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for your incredibly generous donations today, everybody. Thank you. And thank you, Sargon, for hanging out with me all the way up until the end today. Thank you very much.
That's my pleasure, and I'm going to get to bed in a minute, though, so...
Enjoy your sleep on your hard English mattress.
Oh, no, my mattress is gorgeous. It's very comfortable. But it's more that I'll be woken up around 6:30 by my kids arguing, so... That's why I'm tired all the time, man. Like they're 5 and 3, and they're getting to the age where they can really make a lot of noise. It's for fuck's sake. And they've got no conception of like considering someone else, right? So they'll just burst in at like 6:30. Can I have breakfast? Can I have breakfast? Like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, they're awake, and so should you be.
Oh, exactly. As far as they're concerned, they're awake. Therefore, the entire world is awake with them.
Well, I hope you have a good night, Sargon.
I will. Right. Take it easy, guys.
Dreyfie. Lastly, nope. Hot. And Akibat. Arch, how much for Terminated Dark Fate Defiance? I've heard about that game. It's supposed to be hard. That's all I know about it. I think Kib played it. How long is it? That usually determines it. Because normally, okay, single stream is $250. A either full playthrough or 4 streams, depending upon how enjoyable I find it, and the viewership numbers, is $1,000. So that's $250 per stream, which basically, I should probably give a discount on that, but no, I can't be asked. Because that also means that I'll actually finish it if I find it enjoyable enough, and if the view numbers are good enough. If the view numbers are good enough, I'll force myself to. Or in the case of Menace, I'll force you to watch it regardless because I'm having fun. So, roundabouts. Swings and roundabouts, in fact. Until next time, chat, thank you very much for watching. Remember to go to the community tab and check out the post with the brand new Discord in it, so that you can vote on our upcoming Vampire the Masquerade campaign, where we will have far more interactivity in this one, where the first choice that the players will determine is which ally the party will be given. Either the young and eager radio operator or the grizzled old tank commander that might be starting to develop some misgivings about the war. One entirely politically reliable, but perhaps not as immediately useful character, versus a man with a tank, but who might also lead our characters astray in their political journey.
Are you ready to rut this yellow
Animatic acumen. It's 55 hours on average. Jesus, that's a lot. Until next time, chat, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Have a very good night, chat. Actually, did I set up the redirect thing?